Hey folks, welcome to another morning space with me, Kalu. On this space, we're talking money, the economy, and of course, finance. This week, we're talking U.S. elections, right? It's going to happen in November. So this is going to be I think, the last or second to last Sunday before Americans vote. So it would be a good idea to just look at the policies of the two leading contestants. We've got the Republicans and we've got the Democrats. So we've got Trump, we've got Harris. We're trying to look at this from the angle of which favors Nigeria, right? Or which favors Africa in terms of trade, right? So we're looking at just economic policies, that is. So we're looking at trade, that's my own take. Trade, we're looking at remittances, and of course, looking at energy. These three policies, in my view, are what are going to be the key triggers for what would affect Nigeria and Africa. So don't look at it as a US election. The President of the United States is going to affect policies in your country through many direct ways. If they increase interest rates in America, it affects your naira. It affects what you buy and sell locally. If the American government starts to clamp down on fossil fuels, it affects your budget, it affects your wealth, it affects your wallet in Nigeria. If the American government starts to restrict trade or put tariffs, it also can affect you positively or negatively. So it's not a US election per se, right? You want to get involved, even if you just to understand those policies. So I think they also help you. So for me, let me lay the lay of the land as it's were. Of course, on this space we're talking economics, politics, personal finance, and this is a big topic. This is the main, I would say, economic factor right now in the world. Whoever wins the elections in America is going to change the outlook for investments, for trade globally. So of course we have to get involved because we want to be better investors, right? So for me, I look at it this way, like I said, trade, remittances, and fossil fuels. And you guys can request to log in if you guys want to hop in. In terms of trade, Mr. Trump has said he wants to do tariffs. Essentially, what he says is that he wants to have reciprocity, reciprocal trade policies, which means that if you put tariffs on American goods coming to your country, he will put tariffs on goods coming to America. I don't think Nigeria has like tariffs on US goods coming in like that. And I don't think we're a big player in that space. So I don't think they're going to come and go after Nigeria. What I actually think is that that policy favors Nigeria in a way because if they start to slap tariffs on Chinese and European exports, they may be forced to come to Nigeria to manufacture those goods in Nigeria. The same way they're going to Mexico. I saw Madagascar. I saw a Chinese factory in Madagascar that's making goods to export to the US. To avoid those tariffs, in Nigeria, for instance, there's a guy that has a pineapple farm in Enugu, pineapple plantation. He's from Brazil, and he set up that plantation in Enugu because to go from Brazil to the EU, you have a different trade policy that to go from Nigeria to the EU. Nigeria has this preferential trade treatment with the EU and even with the US. We have what we call, what's that thing that Bill Clinton passed? Preferential trade agreement that when we export goods to the West, we don't pay as much tariff. So he's come to Enugu to plant pineapples and to export to the EU because it has preferential treatment. So Trump's tariffs, right, might actually favor Nigeria. That's just my view. Again, if you disagree, hop in and let me know. What about remittances? Trump is saying, or both of them are saying, no tax on tips, no tax on social security, no tax on excess work. What that might translate to that the average guy that's below the ladder on average work in America might have more disposable income that they make when they work. So I would think that the same way when we had the crisis in 2022, it affected remittances living in America to come to Nigeria. If I'm Nigerian and I'm able to keep more of my revenues because I pay less taxes, that might be a way for me to then export, as it were, more remittances to Nigeria. So on that note, it looks like I'm happy, right? On that note. What about fossil fuels? This is where you now have the big divergence between the Republicans and the Democrats. And this is where Nigeria has to be very careful. Nigeria's main export is crude oil and gas. 89% of our FX revenues come from crude oil and gas. Crude oil and gas is less than 10% of our GDP, but it's 89% of our trade and about 80% of our forex. Just round figures, but not round figures, but you get the idea. Anything that affects the exports of fossil fuels from Nigeria is a direct threat, not just economic threat, national security threat, direct threat to Nigeria. So what are the two parties talking about fossil fuels? If you want to look at the Democrats' position, you have to go back to before the Russian war, because that's the real position before the Russia-Ukraine war. At that time, the United States had banned all new investments in oil and gas in the Alaskan region. The major banks in America have said no new lending to oil companies in Alaska. The European Investment Bank has said no new lending, period, to oil and gas. The Americans were working on legislation to ban lending by banks to oil and gas, not just oil, gas. They include gas in fossil fuel. So liquefied natural gas that we think is clean energy, they don't like it. If you go to the state of Washington or in New York, Virginia, I think it's Pennsylvania, there's a war there on fracking, on natural gas. They don't want it. They say it's dirty. They want to convert from gas to, I don't know what they want to use in America. So that's a direct threat to our economy, right? Because if a party comes into power in America and say that fossil fuels is dirty, they're going to tax it. They're going to take NNPC to court. And they're going to make it very expensive. They won't stop crude oil use. They're going to make it very, very expensive for Americans to use fossil fuels. So what would then happen? The cheapest player in the market will win. Nigerian crude oil takes about $40 to take it from the ground to America. $40. Saudi is less than $10. So when you tax oil, even if you tax oil 50%, the Saudis can still sell and make a profit. Nigerians can sell and make a profit. Again, Saudi has invested in refineries, in tankers, in filling stations in America. So even if you want to tax imports of fossil fuels, you can't tax in Florida. That Saudis own the largest digital network. I think they bought the Shell retail network in America. So they are there. They've diversified, they've hedged their bets, and they're in America. And that to me is a key thing that I think is going to really affect Nigeria, whichever party gets into power. If Trump gets into power, he's going to do drill. So the threat to Nigeria is that American exports of crude oil would increase, thereby attacking our market share in India and other regions. For Kamala, it's a bit more different. If Kamala gets into power, they might just restrict oil and gas exports, make it very expensive, and then we lose out. So both have risks, but I like to compete in a market where I can still sell, but I can innovate, than in a market where I can't even do anything. So that's my take. Olumide, I got you here. Olumide, last week, Olumide, you were talking about the US market, stock markets, and you were starting to talk about around this stuff. What's your take, Olumide, on this, really? Make sure I got Olumide on. Olumide, what's up? I can't hear you, bro. Ooh, you dropped off. All right, so that's just my take on that. You know, wait, Olumide, are you here? Okay, yeah. Let me just add you real quick. Yeah, Olumide, go for it.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, hold on. Mano, just hold on a bit, yeah? I'll bring you up next, yeah? Olumide, go ahead.
Very sure. I think from the global perspective, it has a very witty impact. The United States is the world's largest economy.
Yeah.
It's a $1 trillion economy. It really places tentacles across global finance, reserve currency. The dollar has strong influence in the global market, including Nigeria. But to be honest, if you look at it from the global scale, apart from energy and probably migration, one can point to very little effect, because if you look at appetite importation, for example, the United States is number 6. The UK is the Nigeria's biggest FX market in terms of bringing capital to the country, and that's probably because we don't really have business pipelines that are advantage of United States global scale of business. You also look at the fact that in defense, a country like Egypt that gets about $3 billion from the Americans in aid to boost the development. We don't have that in Nigeria, and South Africa has also at some point had some form of duty. So, where the elephant in the room for Nigeria is oil and migration. So let me start with oil. If you look at both candidates, I think, because of the cheap oil production, one cannot really say a Trump will benefit. So look at it. Just like you highlighted, there will be more drilling, federal permits approval, and the fact investment in renewables might not be aggressive like what we've seen in the former years at Biden years. But if you look at that, means that oil prices will have a ceiling. It's very unlikely that a Trump, except he goes hawkish on Iran. And even if he goes hawkish on Iran, the fact that there might be oil glut and the shale industry in the United States will keep on, the Saudis will definitely take the market by its grip. So it means that Nigeria will definitely have little earnings in terms of crude oil export. But if in terms of the fact that Nigeria looks like petrol prices are deregulated, it means cheaper fuel. So we might have cheaper fuel if the major asset is at controlled levels. The purchasing power of the average Nigeria. I hope you're hearing clearly, Carl.
Very clear, very clear. And Olumide, very, very clear. But the point of the argument is that if you take that energy crisis you're talking about, the Democrats are going to stop fossil fuel. They're going to stop it. They tried to, go back to Osibanjo when he was a VP. He was in Qatar, or not Qatar, Dubai, complaining that even LNG was going to be stopped. So imagine in Nigeria where we don't export crude oil or gas. And then compare it to a market where we can export, but we've got to bring our costs lower. Chevron will still be here. Exxon will still be here. So that's my take.
Yeah, and another painful fact is that Nigeria has lost its place even among the Americans. Yeah, JP Morgan Chase executive came to Nigeria. He spoke decent things. He had boost in our entrepreneurs. But if you look at trade, if you look at Nigeria, America in the last 10, 15 years, apart from migration, we can't really say much. And investment in the fintech space, the fintech growth we saw in the 2000s and 2020 eras of COVID, we are not seeing that. And also the fact that now both parties are cautious towards immigration. Immigration plays a key role. Nigerians are one of the leading African communities in America. And, despite the fact that a lot of Nigerians see America as a land of opportunity, getting a visa is one of the hardest things.
But on the flip side, right? If I had a friend, a Nigerian guy, he's married to an American, he's SAP certified, SAP certified. His wife is Nigerian American. When he used to go to America with a visa, he used to get a visa all the time. When he went to emigrate to the United States of America, the embassy in Nigeria stopped issuing him a visa. They asked him that he should go back and get an immigrant visa, no longer a non-immigrant visa. So this guy was stuck in Nigeria. His whole family had gone. He was stuck in Nigeria for 3 years. He had to wait 3 years because the embassy told him, because your wife has now moved to America, if you're going to America, you are an immigrant. So you have to go get, not the visa we get to travel, the non-immigrant visa. If that guy had flown to Mexico, he would have crossed the border and end of story. So I even think that when you secure the borders of America, it actually favors Nigerians because now the quota is being abused because everyone can come in. So the guys that actually apply for visas that don't live on the border of America are actually the ones suffering. That's why it's so hard to get dates for interview in Nigeria. They're slowing things down because Normal flow of immigration, when you apply in your home country, you get a visa to come, it's overloaded. So, so I don't think that if you have an organized way where you can do guest worker program, Americans need workers. They need workers. There are 5 million or 7 million job openings in America without people to do them. So no one is going to deport anybody. Nobody is going to stop anyone from coming to America. I think the issue is just that it's not organized. So even if you have a presidency where it is organized, it goes back to how it used to be when you can apply for a visa. It favors Nigerians and even Africans. It's more equitable. What's your take?
Yeah, I totally agree. But I'm looking from the retrospect of how Nigeria deal in the embassy, the challenges for getting a valid migrant visa. I think the last time I checked the data, it was not. In fact, it was not as impressive as it was.
Yeah.
It's made an excuse that Nigerians also dishonor their visa.
Like everybody else. Like everybody else.
But I think I will share the data on Bloomberg. We are among the highest.
Because we're recorded. Because we're coming through the official channels. We're recorded. I do not think any, and I don't want to be abusive, I don't think any South American that comes into America comes in with a visa. So because we are recorded, they can then know how many Nigerians don't go back. But if you walk across the border, who is the date for America to go to court is till 2029. So if you walk across the border in America, they arrest you, then they release you with a letter to say, come and see a judge in America. That the earliest date is 2029. No visa.
I think a Trump win will change, because if you look at what is happening here, for example, I can tell you for free that Europeans have become more hostile. And the right wings, the right party, party that has conservative lines, are now seeing immigration as something kind of toxic.
But it's on. To your point, it's right-wing guys are winning because it's broken. The system is broken. It gets the American president that gave amnesty to illegals. Guess the American president that gave amnesty. Do you know who it was? The American president that gave amnesty. Do you know? Reagan. It was Ronald Reagan. This whole thing of Ronald Reagan had a deal that if all the guys that were in illegally, they would get an amnesty and then they would seal the borders. They get the amnesty, the borders were never sealed up. I think, again, remember, Republicans, Democrats want workers because without workers, you can't grow the economy. Trump knows this. There is no way, if you look at America, that America can survive without workers, guest workers. Who pick the apples? Who cut the trees? No, it can't happen. Go to the banks, you see lots of immigrants working in the banks. The problem is it's not regulated. Look at the other day, they caught an ISIS guy. He came in through the border. An ISIS guy came in through the border. He was looking, not through the border, he flew in from Afghanistan. Then was getting messages from ISIS, was planning an attack on election day. So that's the problem. If you can't vet people and people just come in, that's the problem. But there are many Nigerians that are educated that are applying for a visa and can't get a visa because the quota is already full. Meanwhile, America has 7 million job openings that are not filled. People are here in America, in Nigeria, want to go there and work, but can't go.
Yeah, I think another thing we are forgetting is the crypto market. I think that's another one that has a very strong impact on young Nigerians. If you look at Bitcoin as we speak,
you're right.
He's oscillating above the support level of 6,500, and that tells you that it's just about 5% high, and that's because a lot of traders are positioned in the aftermath of the US.
Who are the Bitcoin guys supporting Lumde?
Definitely, they wanted Trump to win.
Let me pause. Let me get some guys to hop in here. Let's get Emmanuel then to go to you are here now. Emmanuel, go ahead. What's your take, Emmanuel?
Okay. Good day, everyone. Good day, Mr. Kara. In this aspect of if it will hurt Nigeria, I think 2018, when Trump had the tariff war with China that cost the license to Hawaii Mobile, I think Nigerians in Nigeria they lost a lot of jobs. I think Hawaii, Nigeria, start up to 3,000 staffs. Yeah, in Nigeria.
What's the connection? What's the connection with them?
Yeah, Trump got the global license of Hawaii Mobile because of the tariff war with China.
Okay.
So it costs a lot of Nigerians to lose their job.
But then again, I think you have a good point. You make a good point here.
Yeah, there's a time you said something about the oil. Trump is about doing. It's actually the Biden administration that is, if you check the data, Biden administration actually is presently drilling more oil.
No. Don't listen to all that hype. The Biden guys, the Democrats as a party do not like fossil fuels as a party. If you come to American states, right? As a
about non-liking, but the present statistics on ground is that the Biden administration currently they are drilling more oil.
Yeah, because they are drilling oil so they can bring down inflation. They are releasing oil from their strategic reserves. They are drilling oil, but still, leases in America are not being issued as much as they should be. They still banned drilling in Alaska, in Anwar. In America, here, if you use gas, they are trying to stop it. They do not approve any refinery. They don't approve drilling and all that. Fracking, they don't do it and all that. So it's because right now they are under pressure from the Ukraine war. That's what's going on. Once the Ukraine war goes away, I don't think you're going to see most of that happen again. That's the point I'm making. They have to do it now because they need to bring inflation down and there's elections. Once that goes away, boom, they're going to go back to where they were. You have an echo, Emmanuel, on your audio.
Okay, but mine is that Trump doesn't serve any interest to Africa. In the sense that he's a man with ego issue.
Let's leave all that personal traits. Let's leave that personal trait. We're talking the policies now.
Talking about policy is because of his ego issue.
Oh, bro, let's not go there, bro. The question is that no.
You understand what I'm saying? It's because of he feels that he lost.
Man, I gotta let you go. Man, let me let you go. Claudine, what's on your mind? Claudine, come right here. Claudine Gasana, what's up?
Yes, good afternoon, good evening.
How you doing?
I came out here. I'm doing well. Talking more about immigration because I'm not sure about economic policies in Africa, maybe Nigeria because it's a big country.
Yeah, go for it.
Maybe you guys.
Claude, I'm gonna eat my breakfast. So go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking about when you were mentioning about the visa.
Yeah.
Before 2021, there were more visa overstays than illegal entries, and that's the reason why people who go to apply for visas, especially in Africa, they get denied, because the people overstay their visitors visa, they overstay their student visa, or some of them don't even go to. So those are among the reasons that they don't come back. But also, of course, when it comes to work visas, there's not enough work visas for everybody, across the board, and there is no administration itself that is going to change that. That's the Congress that has to act. So when you mentioned Reagan gave amnesty, he didn't. The Congress did because the president cannot give amnesty.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying now, Claudine. Let's not go there.
But the people don't know. Like, we have 3 branches of the government, and each is separate. They have different powers, right? What has been happening since Reagan, and most Reagan Republicans now, they are voting for Kamala Harris because the Republican of Reagan is no longer here. This is a more populist, nationalist, Trump or MAGA Republican Party.
But who did DACA? Who did DACA, Deferred Action on Child Abuse?
That's Obama.
The president or the Congress?
President, and that's an executive action.
So why can't the president do executive action on immigration also? If you say the president can admit kids in, today we have about 13 million folks that have crossed the border. 13 million.
Yeah.
Those are clearly opportunities that if you waited online, you would come in, but it's gone. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, I will explain. So DACA is part. So as an executive branch, they have room to implement the laws within the powers granted to the president. An executive action is basically you are giving. Well, there are people here. I'm not giving status. They did not give them visa. It's a deferred action for childhood arrivals. Deferred action is more of like, well, you don't have a visa. We are not giving you residency or citizenship, but we are not deporting you either.
They get a work permit. They get a green card.
No, they don't get a green
They get
card.
a green card.
They don't.
They get a green card. I can confirm. They get a social. Okay, social. What about social? Do they get social security?
Let me explain. I am an immigration attorney.
Do they get social security?
For the last 13 years, meaning I have been since the Obama's administration, Trump, and
Yeah, I hear you.
now. So DACA, they do not get a green card.
What about social security?
Everybody who gets a work permit get a social security.
So they get a
When who's
social
student-
security and a work permit.
Yes, and that's it.
Chicken.
And
So
they are in the
what else
limbo.
now?
They're in the limbo. So now let me go to.
No, I want people to understand the point you're making. If I cross the border without a visa,
No, it's not everybody though. You have to have come in 2007. Now there's
no, but now I'm talking about today.
No, they don't get anything. That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
but what I'm saying is that today, I'm saying today, if you cross the border today,
You don't get anything.
no, let me say what you get, and you can tell me if it's true or not. If you cross the border today, you get a social security number.
No,
Yes,
no, sir.
yes,
No.
I have friends. Oh, you know I can't talk. Not just one friend, not just two
I know.
friends, millions. You're talking legal. You're talking legal stuff. Banks open accounts with a social security number. Are you saying that all the guys that are in America, 13 million illegals in America, do not have a bank account?
I am going to. Well, I don't even know how many have a bank account.
They
So
all
let me
have
tell you
bank
how the
accounts now.
process goes. Let me tell you how the process goes. People come through the border. Most of them are apprehended. When you're apprehended and then you say you are seeking refuge, you are running away from something from your country. You can't go back because you fear persecution. You are put through what's called removal proceedings. They give you a notice to appear in front of an immigration judge. The only way you will get a social security or a work permit is if you go to your court hearing and they don't decide, the judge does not decide your case within 150 days.
That is not.
That's the law.
Oh, 150 days. Good. So
Yes.
you've come back to what I'm
Okay?
saying.
So which means after 150 days, after you file your application, you are eligible to apply for work permit.
Yeah.
It's not your fault that the government is taking long to give you
Claudia.
asylum or deny you.
Yes, but the
Okay?
long and short is that if you cross the border, let's break it down. Oh. The long and short, if you cross the border today, after 150 days, you get your social security number and you get your work
No,
permit.
you have to go through. You have to report to court.
Yes, but you will get it. You are saying you have to, but you will get it.
And some of them, they are detained and they are expedited removed. If they catch you right
Removed,
now,
yeah. Removed.
yeah, let me tell you, recently the Biden administration has said if you don't come through the border, right, like through customs, and they catch you, running, they will deport you, expedited removal, and that's what's happening, and that has slowed the number of
All right,
people.
Claudia, I want you to stay
and then
here.
I'm gonna explain you the 13 million.
No,
When
Claudia,
two minutes. When Trump stopped or did the Remain in Mexico and Title 42, which discriminated against Haitians and all other non-white or brown immigrants, what happened is people did not go. They stayed around Mexico. And as soon as they remained in Mexico and the Title 42 expired, those people came in. Those are not new people. Those were people who were waiting to come in.
But the point is not if they are new or old. This is what I want to get across to folks listening that are Nigerians. If a Nigerian applies for a visa in Lagos or Abuja, it takes him, maybe he has to get a date for the visa, he can get denied, he can go, it takes him time. If that same Nigerian simply flies from Lagos to Brazil, then to Mexico, and crosses the US border without a visa, after 150 days, he gets a social security
If it's
number.
not deported,
No, but why you say
if you're looking for economic reasons, you are deported.
Yes, but I'm saying what is this SI unit? I'm saying, and we know if like if I don't die, I'll go to work tomorrow. I get that, but I'm saying if I get to the border of America, I cross the border, I report myself to the border guards. After 150 days, I get a social security number.
No, it's not.
You just said it now.
No, I did not. I said if you seek asylum, meaning you.
Okay, I seek asylum.
They
Okay,
give you what's called credible fear interview. Credible fear interview.
Claudia, I don't want you to tell me. I don't want you to use technicalities on me. You know where I'm going to. Don't use technicalities. What I'm trying to say is this: if I wait in Africa or if I do the right way, I do not get anything. If I illegally cross the border and claim asylum, I get a social security number and a work permit. That's what I'm saying. So the folks that are waiting in Africa are the quote unquote they are playing by the rules, but are being shortchanged. That's where I'm getting to. And I know billions of people.
And that has been since the beginning.
It's not true.
It's not Biden.
Okay, Claire, don't go anywhere. Let's get someone else here. But Claire, don't go anywhere. Claire, just stay right there. Let's get us as people. Don't go anywhere. You're a legal attorney, so we're going to use you. Lord Chief Whip, what's in your mind?
Okay. For me, good evening. So, I think everything that has to do with Trump or Harris presidency is has different shade for Nigeria. For instance, a Trump presidency might make it easier for legal immigrants to enter the U.S., while the Biden administration makes it easier for illegal aliens to normalize in the U.S. Because I think the argument is cheap labor, because those illegal immigrants are filling up space for cheap labor. So, like, they try to
they get paid minimum wage. You can't pay them under the table. They get paid minimum wage. They work in banks. They work in
those illegal immigrants work in factories and farmlands and spaces that you would not ordinarily.
That's not true. If you have a work permit, you can work anywhere. They work in banks. I know what I'm saying. I'm giving you for a fact. You can work anywhere. And
when you have a work permit,
exactly.
You know
it's legal. You can work anywhere. You can work for the Pentagon. You can work for the police. In New York, did they just hire an illegal? What thing was it? Is it New York or California? Just hired their first illegal immigrant as a police officer.
It's not illegal if you have a work permit.
I apologize, Claudia.
Once you have a work permit, you're no longer illegal.
Okay, but
you understand?
You can be. Okay, I apologize. Claudia, what should I call them? Claudia, give me the exact words. What should I call them, Claudia?
There was a video showing.
I want to get the correct words.
Elon Musk, and he said at some point he was illegal, and then he said, "Oh no," and he said that it was
undocumented.
In the gray area. So you are in the gray area because you're waiting on your case to be heard.
Okay, so what should I call? Is undocumented okay?
Undocumented is somebody who does not have any process.
So what should I call them? What should I call them?
People who are waiting for their
okay. If you are waiting for your case to be heard in America,
I think the U.S. system is very unique. In that, for me,
I'm not hating on anyone in the U.S. The point I'm making is that it makes it easier if it's more organized for folks that are doing it the right way to get visa. That's what I'm saying.
The American system is around dreams. You see, some people can take the risk, cross through those dangerous terrain to get there and also live a good life. You understand? So if, for me, I think their system, whether it's the documented route or through the illegal route, once they find out that you understand, once they find out that you are there to corrupt their system, they have a way of taking you out.
They're not doing anything. Hold up, because your audio is Chief Whip. Your audio is so Chief Whip. Someone's audio is it's echoing.
Okay.
Someone's audio is echoing.
Okay, let me get an headphone, then I'll come.
So I don't want to. I'm not victim shaming, but let's get Esper King, Espio King, Espio. What's on your mind?
Espoir. Thank you so much.
Sorry, what's up, man?
It's okay. How are you?
I'm doing very well, sir.
I'm listening to you. It's kind of like I'm amused because there's not two systems that you can compare. But I happen to have worked with the unaccompanied minors. I once worked with kids from Brazil, India, China, all over who came through the illegal channel. And my brother, it's not as easy as you think. By thinking you're just gonna land in Brazil and cross. How many has witnessed rape? How many of my clients that I saw here, they were already traumatized by the horrible experience they passed through, the gangs they passed through, like in Nicaragua or these countries. It's not something like glorify or you come and you enter. It's not as easy as that. Something we don't know as African, we don't know how many lives have lost to reach there. And the ones we didn't make, they already damaged psychologically. My brother, this is something we don't talk about. And it's like, you live somewhere in Europe. How many of our brothers and sisters have lost their lives in ocean?
Yes, well, Espero, that makes the point that America, for instance, has got, I think it's 5 to 7 million job openings. They cannot find workers. 5 to 7 million. Which means that if you had a system of guest worker, where you could come to Nigeria, to Kenya, to Egypt and say, we need 7 million or 1 million workers. Register, do your processing, fly to America, work during the summer, come back during the winter. It's more organized. There will be no rapes, there will be no offenses. This is the point I'm making. We can't allow Africans to die on the Mediterranean to get to jobs that are there. Because it's now illegal, the criminals have taken over. So it's now a criminality thing. You know that you can buy social security, it's drugs, it's terrorism. But if it was organized,
you cannot buy social security.
You can't buy social security, Claudine. You can't buy social security. Yes. Claudine, it's like you are too loyal. You can buy it.
Okay.
Well, on social media, don't put in trouble, Claudine.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
For the United States, $500,000. Yes, you can get your green card. Like there's a.
But who has that money now? Who has that money?
Depends on each country. Like if you have $500,000, yes, you can invest it. You can get a.
You have to increase to 900,000. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But my point I'm trying to make. For me, I'm trying to make my point that Trump will hurt Africans. Why? I'm also gonna. Let me get my point, my brother. Why? We haven't seen his presidencies. We haven't seen during this time when he called our country, your country, she-whole country.
Get to policy. People don't leave all that name calling. Tell me how in 4 years, how did he hurt Africa in 4 years?
I'll tell you. That's what I'm about to get the point of. Because for him, his views, he don't see you as an African.
I want to know how he hurts Africa as a, give me an instance. Don't not shithole.
My brother, I'm trying to make my point. Only if you allow me to, because
why not gonna allow you to? You gotta get to it. Give me the instance. See people waiting to speak. See people waiting to speak. Get to it.
He didn't want Africans to come in this country. Either illegal or through refugee resettlement, any of those systems, they were not coming. These are the people who have been vetted, who has went through the process, and this country has a certain amount of visa they can give, or a certain amount of like a refugee they can.
Well, you haven't told me the policy that Trump did in 4 years that hurt Africa. You haven't told me.
Let me tell you.
Oh my goodness.
I can say that.
It was almost impossible to get a visa.
That's not true. Put the numbers up. Obama deported more people than any president in history. Obama. Is he a bad president?
How many from Africa?
No, what do you mean how many from Africa? Are we now, what do you mean how many from Africa? Obama deported more people than any president in the history of America combined. Is he a bad person?
Obama had a system. When I told you, when we got at the paper.
Okay, Espo. Let's get us to speak. Let's get LD. Espo, I hear you. I mean, I'm giving you time to speak, Espo. We're going to get us to speak. Let's get LD. LD, go ahead.
Thanks very much.
LD speaking. LD.
Okay, thanks very much. I'm hoping I'm audible.
Yes, you are, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a very interesting conversation. At least since I've been on, I found it very, very informative. Well, back to your point, Paulo, on your question on what Trump did while he was president, and then what the future might look like for Africa. I think I'll be happy to speak on those. Before I do that, I want to mention that the issue of immigration is very political here in America. Regardless of the administration or the political affiliation, whether liberals or conservatives, the GOP or the Democrat, it is always a very contentious issue. And no matter how great the party in power performs, there will always be the instances where the other parties don't look for lapses to highlight, to make their electioneering point. So that out of the way. So when on policies, I want to speak policies because I'm a policy person, foreign policy and diplomacy person. So we need to cast our minds back, okay? When Trump was president, first of all, we need to understand that when he ruled to power on the policy of the American president.
Bro, let's see. We're not Americans on the space. I think most Nigerians want to understand what affects us. I don't care how Trump became president. I'm asking if you have a direct policy No, just go to it. Because what is America first? Who knows what America first is? Where from you look at you? Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. I was just laying the groundwork anyway. So speaking to policies, let's look at economic policy, for example. On trade, during his administration, Trump significantly reduced multilateral trade agreements. His emphasis on more towards bilateral trade. So for example, if in Africa, if you look at the trade programs like the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which is I think AGOA, it was more towards transactional relationship. That is, the AGOA was specifically meant to grant tariff-free access to U.S. markets for many African goods. So even though it remained in place back then, but there was little focus on renewing or expanding it. That's one. On investment.
May I? Trump did not stop AGOA. In effect, Trump increased the amount that went to international development. Remember, they had the USAID. Trump merged USAID, I think, with two other institutions, gave them a budget of $60 billion to compete with the Chinese. Based on that, that's why we got some solar projects in Nigeria. So Trump didn't touch AGOA. He actually strengthened and funded that whole thing with 60 billion. This is why I'm saying, show me the policy. Don't.
No, hold on. If you allow me just land, and I didn't mention that he removed AGOA. My point was there was little focus on renewing it or expanding it.
He gave 60 billion. 60 billion. They created a new global to compete with the Chinese bank. I can Google the name for you. The USAID, and the other 60 billion, a brand new institution, Merge 3, to focus on development countries all around the world. That was during Trump.
You see, as you mentioned China right now, his policies were largely on China competition. His policies were largely framed around his country.
So,
hello.
Yeah. So,
So his policies were largely framed around countering China's growing influence in Africa. No, hold on. So what he tried to do was to position U.S. investment as an alternative to Chinese
because he's an American president.
And that's fair, okay? I'm going somewhere. I want to speak to the facts. I do not want to say what he did was wrong. I'm just going to put it out there, and then, people can see the fact of what it is. So, although investment levels, they rose from the U.S., but they did not rise significantly. So, we're looking at the impact on Africa right now. So, while African countries, while they benefited from AGOA, the American First approach, along with attempts to, reduce aid, it meant there were fewer resources.
No aid was reduced. You are making points. You are saying let me land, but you are saying things that are not correct.
I'm speaking factual, Carlo. I'm not making this.
It's not true. I just told you it's not true. I've told you to fact check me. Trump created a 60 billion international body to give more aid to Africans, Latin Americans, and Asian countries. They did the US. I want to get the link for you here.
Did Trump ever go to Africa?
So, did Obama come to Nigeria? So we hate him.
He went to Africa, and Biden's going to Africa next month.
Okay, so what?
Hold on. Let me speak. The issue of trade now, it appears very contentious, and I don't want us to have a back and forth. But everything I've mentioned, please feel free to confirm them. But if you insist they are wrong, I'll leave it.
I'm online right now.
I want to speak on investments. I don't want us to be clarified, okay? I want to speak on investment. I want to leave the trade issue on his policy of investments. So his administration proposed significant cuts to foreign aid.
That's not true. That is not true.
Including programs. I'm talking programs targeting Africa. At the point, I don't know when exactly, Congress restored those cuts. They proposed cuts to foreign aid from his administration. Congress restored those cuts. And then the general policy was directed towards emphasizing.
I'm reading Reuters. And I'm quoting the World Bank president. This is Reuters. President Trump was the one who authorized a capital increase in the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. That's the World Bank. So Trump increased the budget of the World Bank when he was in office. This is the
okay.
So you give me data to counter me.
What I'll ask you to do is please what I'll ask is just allow me to summarize this whole Trump policies on Africa. That's what I want to do, because I can go back and forth like you disagree with my points, and I can give you
but you're not saying I want you to stand your city wrong thing.
Right then. I'm saying the right. I'm not making this up.
You are.
Okay, to summarize Trump's policies on Africa, his policies were more transactional.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And it's okay. It's part of foreign policy. There's transactional foreign policy, just like China on its Belt and Road Initiative. That's fine. But we are looking at what it was and what it will look like if it returns to the White House. So there's going to be less focus on developmental aid and multilateral trade agreements that might potentially.
Again, man, we're bringing up. So again, you see the point is, let me say something clear. Trump is a buffoon. I think Trump is a fool. I don't think Trump has the capacity to act as a U.S. president that's dealing with global entities, with different people of the world. He's a very traditional man. He's a very self-centered guy. He's a narcissist. This is Trump's personality. But we have to leave all that aside and talk about economic policy. We can't be saying Trump is transactional. We can't bring those things in. We have to look at what the man did because he has already been president and then say, okay, we think he will do this. I've just told you now, Trump increased the World Bank's budget by 13 billion. Did Obama do it? No. Trump gave more focus on the killings in Nigeria. Did Obama do it? No. Trump gave more money, the USAID bank, Trump gave them more money to go into lending to Africa, to Latin America, to Asia. Did Obama do it? No. So the guy is not a good guy. I don't think, I'm not going to invite Trump for dinner. But let's leave this personality thing aside. Let's focus on the policy.
For an African who lives in America, do you think they have interest in having a president who's a fool, who can...
If that president is going to keep their cost of gas low, increase their salaries by 2 times,
security,
yes.
We are in the middle of it.
We had no war under Trump.
We're gonna have more war.
But we had no war in 4 years. North Korea, no rocket from North Korea. Iran, nothing from Iran.
Having no war in 4 years, I don't think it's a very substantial excuse to say the world will be global. The world was more.
The man was already the president.
Because you forget one thing. One thing we're pointing.
You guys are bringing personalities into this thing.
I'm speaking to politics. Trump prioritizes unilateralism.
It doesn't matter if it's United. What is the EU? What is the EU? What did the EU sign with Kenya? What did the EU sign with Nigeria? It's not bilateral.
Someone who does not live in the US, who does not care about what happens in the US. But people who live in the US who have
Claudine, don't generalize, Claudine. Don't generalize. You don't know where I live.
You don't care about what happens to America.
You don't know where I live, Claudine. Don't generalize.
All right.
Okay. Let's get Jay. Jay, come in, right? Jay, come in. Jay, what's in line?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Kalu.
What's up, man?
It's quite disheartening to hear so much of anti-Trump sentiment. And see, let's focus on the real stuff, okay? Let's separate the persona from the policy, okay? One of the first things the Democrats did when they came into office was revoking on day one the Keystone Access pipeline that runs through the U.S. then to Canada. Okay, that was the very first thing they did. And they have, as a party, just like you said, Mr. Kalu, they have a war, like they've declared a war on fossil fuels. Okay, so see, the thing is this: a Trump presidency, okay, I think would do much good for Africa on economic policies. Because let's take a look at the facts.
How did the more good for Africa? Give me a policy you think that Trump will do that will favor Nigeria or Africa. Give me one.
Yeah, as on regards oil, okay. On regards oil, okay. I feel the US could be a very good market. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a very strong market for we to export our oil commodities to.
Yeah, whether with Trump, there's going to be less exports to America because Trump is going to pump more oil, so they won't need Nigerian oil.
Yeah, well, there's a point there. Yeah, they might not need much of Nigerian oil, but it now depends on if this administration, could if we could make our foreign policy a foreign policy case for getting more exports over there. We could. That's if we have good leadership. Anyways.
Gotcha. I see.
So I'll piggyback to when Obama was president. Okay, and the lady said something that there are much more. There's less illegals coming. See, there are more illegals coming through the American border than people coming in legally. And you see, the cartels control the border. Okay, the cartels control the border, and it's not just even the illegal thing coming through. the drugs coming in, fentanyl, cocaine.
Bro, it's like you're watching too much CNN. You're talking fentanyl. I want to watch Fox News. I mean, I hear you. I completely agree with you. So look at it. People are saying if you get on a flight today and you land in Mexico, you can pay VIP to America. They can fly you in, or you can walk in VIP. You don't have to. You won't get quote unquote raped or molested. Yes. Yes.
It's more lucrative.
Claudine talks like Claudine, you're a lawyer, so I don't think you know what's going on. I don't think you know what's going on.
So when he says
You say you live here. I don't think you know what's going on, Claudine. I don't think you know what's going on. Don't worry.
and do you know the number of people? I'm gonna put a chart here. The Africans are not let me just do the chart.
You guys are just making it sound like I see.
Let me tell you something. All I'm saying is this. Hold on to your culture. All I'm saying is this. And I don't care if you're legal or undocumented. That's not my issue. My issue is that a Nigerian that applies for a visa legally in Lagos or Abuja will spend more money and more time to get to the US than a guy that crosses the border in Arizona. That guy crosses the border in Arizona. After 180 days, we've been told he will get a social security number. He will get the work permit. If he goes to New York, he will put in a hotel. He'll be given an EBT card with cash in that card. Hotel, EBT card. But if you come legally to America, if you don't pay your taxes or you cross the red light, they will arrest you and they can deport your ass. That's the fact. You can argue and call it whatever name you want to call it, but that is the fact. Let me get Steven. Steven TR. What's in mind? Steven, what's up? Go for it. Steven, you're muted, bro. Lawrence, let's get Lawrence in here. Lawrence Ekunwell. Lawrence, sometimes a chef. Lawrence.
Please, can you guys hear me? I'm right here.
Okay, Steven, go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to speak on what the Biden administration has done during the last 4 years and what the Trump administration is going to do.
Biden
administration, can you hear me?
Yeah, Biden is Kamala. Biden is gone, bro.
Okay, Kamala's administration. So when they came into office, the thing that really, I'm actually a forex trader, and I really studied the US dollars. And the thing they did when they came into administration, they put the US on lockdown. When they put the US on lockdown, they started printing money. They printed money to give to their citizens, and that is why it's causing the inflation in Africa right now.
The lockdown was during Trump's.
Well, he's saying they printed money. Both parties printed money. But
who did the lockdown? Because the lockdown was almost lifted.
The whole world did lockdown.
Okay, the whole world did lockdown except China, where the virus originally came from, right?
China did lockdown too, but they just didn't do.
Yeah, they did lockdown too, but it was not a general lockdown in the whole country. It was only in the region where the virus was, not the whole economy. Now, China was able to curb their own virus. They were able to curb it, and the economy was able to be sustained, and that is what is protecting the Chinese. And that's why you see the Chinese economy is doing very well right now.
Doing very well right now, Steven? Chinese economy doing very well right now?
They are doing okay. They are doing better than the US economy.
They're in trouble. They're in serious trouble, right? Are you sure you're following the news? They're in serious trouble right now. They've done 3 stimulus that have failed.
Let's leave China. Let's return back to America, right? You see, the US dollar controls the global economy. You understand? It controls the global economy because everything you want to buy in the global markets and the general markets is to be posted with dollars. And the inflation happening in America right now is so bad that when we want to buy something from US, we buy in dollars. Now, the dollar here is already expensive for us to get. Now, the thing we want to get in the US again is already expensive. So that's like 2 times, double expensive. What you want to buy is expensive. So what's your take? I want to link what you're saying. So what's your take?
Do you think a Trump or a Harris presidency will favor? Which one do you think will favor Nigeria more, Trump or Harris, and why?
Well, if I was in the United States right now, I would definitely be pro-Trump activist.
Why?
Campaigning for Trump because
Why?
as soon as Trump enters, what he's going to do is he's going to secure the economy, right? He's going to help the economy outright. Now, you see all this money they're giving to.
You say destroy?
He's gonna help.
He's going to help. He's going to help the economy.
Claudine.
Now, you see all this money he's giving to immigrants should be directed towards the Nigerian, towards the United States in the first place. Are you guys getting me? Are you guys following me?
Yes, I'm
should be directed towards the economy in the first place. And there was a point somebody mentioned and said, if the immigrants leave, nobody's going to be able to do the work. Now, it's not that Americans won't be able to do the work. What you're saying is they won't do it for less than the minimum wage. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you bring in immigrants will take jobs worth $5,500. They'll take it for $20. They'll take it for $500. They'll take it for $2 because they don't have any other choice. And you can imagine millions of them coming into the country like that, taking jobs and jobs and jobs that belong to American citizens. I think it's going to affect the economy.
So Stephen is for Trump. So Stephen is for Trump because Trump will fix the economy. I get you. Chukwudi, let me hear you out. Stephen, thank you so much.
Can I?
Go ahead, Stephen. Go ahead, Chukwudi.
Yeah?
Go ahead, Chukwudi.
Me? Is it?
Chukwudi.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, good evening, sir. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, first of all, let me say, me talking like a Nigerian, living in Nigeria, what I feel about the two candidates, how it will affect Nigeria and Africa as a country. If we remember very well, last year, or was it earlier this year, there was a military coup in Niger Republic, in Niger. What would have been a civil war between Nigeria and Niger? If the president of Nigeria had listened to that ill, stupid advice, Nigeria would have been in crisis today. The whole of West Africa would be in crisis. Second, I remember how Obama destabilized Libya, and we still feel the impact till today. For Trump being a president that is focusing what is for America, not wanting to interfere with what happens in other countries, I think he favors Africa and Nigeria the best. I don't think we Africans should be looking for who we make policies that our leaders should be making policies that will favor us. But the thing is this: the Democrats administration under Obama and Biden, they have been making decisions that are terrible in the global scheme, which on the effect Nigeria or Africa bears the brunt of it. Let's look at what is happening between Ukraine and Russia. It was because Biden administration, and until today, they are not even receiving on it or feeling that they are sorry. They are feeling that they should continue to fund Ukraine to fight Russia, which is even causing some type of, we are receiving some backlash in Nigeria here. So many Nigerian students schooling in Ukraine were stranded. Some of them don't even have anywhere to go. Some of them came back and they are not able to continue their studies. Then you look at even the Gaza Strip issue, his mistake or their funding of Iran and how indifferent the Democrat administration is between Israel and Hamas. So when you look at these things, some of these things, I think the backlash of it is what Africa faces. For example, I wouldn't want a president in US who is so much interested in the internal democracy of another country or how another country chooses their leadership. That was what they did in Libya. And that was what they were doing in Egypt until the military took over. And that was what they are doing across other places. And it is detrimental. And we saw it seemingly with Nigeria and Niger. So what would be his business telling Nigeria to go and invade, to go and attack Niger?
So if I get you right, so are you a Trump guy or Kamala guy? So are you rooting for Trump or Kamala?
Yeah, basically, Trump is by far better looking at his two policies because for this reason, because Trump does not care about or is not going to interfere with the internal affairs of other African countries.
All right.
And I think it's safe and it's better. It affects the economy better. Up to this moment, Nigeria is still suffering from what Obama administration did in Libya.
Okay.
Kamala Harris told Tinubu to go and restore democracy in Niger.
How do you know that? How do you know he told Tinubu that?
You can Google it. It's on the news.
Kamala told Tinubu to invade Niger.
Yes, just check it. After there was a coup in Niger Republic, there was a phone call, and the news carried it. If you remember, Nigeria was already going to attack Niger because they want to restore democracy there before the others.
All right, I hear you. I mean that's your view. I respect it. That's your view.
No, but go and check it.
I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm giving context. I'm just asking to give more context. I'm not debating. Yeah.
No. I think I will look for it and post on the Jumbotron.
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Sure.
Because it was a big debate in Nigerian Senate that time before the northern senators stood against it and said Nigeria shouldn't attack Niger. If you remember very well, there was protest against Nigerian president in Niger Republic before they now decided to Nigeria decided to cut off the electricity because there's a military coup there. If Nigeria has started that war in Niger, they might not have dethroned the junta, just like what is happening between Ukraine and Russia today. It might have been sustained, and who will bear the consequences of it is average Nigerian. And that is the reason why I will not support someone who is just looking, people who, in their mindsets, they want what they think is best for America for another person, in a way that it will be very detrimental to the other people.
Are you in America?
I'm talking about how it affects Africa. I'm not talking about America.
But are you in America though?
What if it's not?
No. I do not care about who is better for America.
Yeah, but what I want to hear, Claude. What if it's not? Oh yeah, talk.
Oh no, I'm asking if he's in America.
Okay, what if it's not? Oh yeah, what if it's not?
Maybe it's not. That's fine for me because it's not going to vote.
Claudia, have you ever gone to the moon?
Have I ever gone to the moon? No, I'm not a scientist. I'm more of an attorney.
So why are you worried about tides that affect you, that are caused by the moon? You can't ask people if they've gone to America or live in America. They can have an opinion.
No,
but it affects them.
No, if they're voting,
it doesn't matter if they're voting. We've tied the U.S. policies to Nigerian African policies. If the U.S. has a policy on fossil fuels, it will affect me.
I'm sorry?
When the U.S. government took away Gaddafi,
the U.S. government under Obama attacked Libya and destabilized
it affects Nigeria.
Okay.
Do you know what is happening?
You know, when it comes to
that, they are terrorists ravaging Nigeria.
You can discuss all night here. Africa, they need to have their own, to mind their own business and to be able to defend themselves. African nations, African leaders.
Yes, that is why we don't need a U.S.
That's what I'm saying.
Claudia,
African leaders, they cannot even have the African Union.
We can't. You guys, don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about yourselves. The point is that you've had a long time. We have to move on. Let's move on.
Just 30 seconds. Okay,
so
what I'm saying is
so let's go to Meta. Meta, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. Mike, there's scarcely anything left to say, but I'd just like to say that I'm a Donald Trump supporter, and as a Nigerian from abroad.
Let me ask you the Claudine question. Do you live in the U.S.? No,
I don't.
Okay, are you sure? Okay, continue.
I don't live in the U.S. I don't live in Nigeria. I live in Europe actually, but I support Donald Trump because of his the way he managed the American economy his previous 4 years. And I thought the American economy did a lot better. I thought his foreign policies, in many ways, allowed less of meddling of the American government in the foreign government. And I think that goes a long way to help many African countries, like what Chukwudima said. So I think Chukwudima laid some of the points I wanted to actually lay. So there's scarcely anything that they had to say, but I think Donald Trump administration will be a lot better for Africa and indeed Nigeria as a whole. But if I could just touch a little bit on that immigration matter, I think the Donald Trump policy on immigration is a lot better for even Africans too, because I think at this point we really need to be encouraging Africans to go into America or indeed any other country legally. I think it's unfair that we would have a lot of Africans go in and invade their space, illegally. I don't support that, and I'm saying this because
once we had our citizenship, we just think we are better. Anyways, how many Africans came same way these are trying to come? Now they are citizens and they think they are better.
It's a simple fact that if you live in Latin America, if Nigeria was where Mexico was, then would walk across at the detriment of folks that live a continent or ocean apart. So they have an advantage; they can walk across. And what we're saying that there has to be equity. I don't hate anybody. There has to be
they don't
equity.
get the same benefits. If you come with a visa, a work visa, a green card, you don't.
It's not true. It's not true, Claudine. It is not true. If you come to America with a visa, a non-immigrant visa, you're not allowed to work. You cannot
If you have
work.
a work visa, there's a work
No,
visa.
but I just said it now. If you come to America with a non-immigrant visa, you are not allowed to work.
Carlo, after the elections, I'm happy you can invite me. We can speak with different work visas for Africans.
I will invite you, but Claudine, am I saying what I'm saying untrue? It's stamped on your passport. Not eligible for work. It's stamped it.
Who come here illegally and then they are 10 years in limbo. You don't have status.
I am not talking about that. I am saying if a Nigerian goes to the embassy of the United States in Abuja or Lagos and gets a visa, non-immigrant visa, he is not allowed to work in the United States of America. That's what I'm saying. You have a visa on your passport.
It depends. If you have a visitor's visa, you're not allowed.
I just said it now. If you have a non-immigrant visa,
no, there's different non-immigrants.
B1, B2.
Okay, there's a student visa, there's a work
B1,
visa.
B2.
That's a visitor's visa. You can't go to visit.
That's what I just said now, Claudine. You're trying to be technical with me.
That's not the only one non-immigrant.
But I didn't say it's the only one, Claudine. I'm saying, and because I've been specific, I'm also being specific. If you come to the United States with a B1, B2 visa, you're not allowed to work. If you go to the same America without a visa, you'll be given work authorization and a social security number. It's not fair. America had the green card that was given all across the world. And when Nigerians reached a certain limit for green cards, they took Nigeria off the list of visa lottery. Nigeria is off the list of visa lottery because they wanted to be equitable. They said Nigerians had reached the level, so they want to allow other African nations to come to America because Nigerians as a population had exceeded the visa lottery. The same thing now is happening. When you have Nigerians unable, we can't do visa lottery. So the only way we can get to the US is to try to come through schooling, through marriage, or who can afford to buy. Who has investment? So it's unfair to Nigerians.
Nigerians are very smart. There's a self-petition for people with national interest in extraordinary.
There is no pathway for a Nigerian to come to the United States unless you have a visa.
I will explain happily. That's what I do.
Tell me the pathway for a Nigerian to come to the United States of America legally without a visa.
Right now I have a Nigerian national.
No, tell me.
We are preparing his EB1. That's the employment-based immigrant visa for people with extraordinary ability.
You just said visa. I'm asking you, is there a pathway to come to the United States without a visa for a Nigerian?
For anybody, not only Nigerian.
Okay, and that's the point we're making. So we are shortchanged because we need a visa to come to the US. But other folks the data you shared, Guatemala, you said it has reduced to 6,420. They are coming in without a visa. Honduras reduced to 4,000. They're coming without a visa.
Do you know the conditions
El
they come
Salvador,
in?
it doesn't matter. They can come in without a visa. We can't come
They
in
can
without a
come
visa.
100 and only 5 make it here.
No,
You know
this
that?
is your own data shared that are in the US.
I wanted to show you that there's a
Okay.
strong number of Africans.
Meta, take back your time, please.
Yeah, that's okay. I was actually enjoying the conversation between you both. Okay, so I think Donald Trump policy on stiff immigration control is better for Africans, because I think, like, especially Nigerians, we really need to try to cap the illegal immigrants coming out from Nigeria in America. I think, and I'm not saying this to spite our Nigerian folks, but I hope that at some point all the Nigerians in America will actually be documented legal, so they'll go in there legally, go about their business, properly and all that, So I think ultimately Donald Trump's administration means well for Americans. They prioritize Americans above non-Americans. I really think it's good. I think other countries should do the same. I don't think it's fair that illegal immigrants will go into America and lead the actual Americans in America handicapped. I think it's unfair. So that's what I want to use that.
For me,
equity.
Equity.
Sorry, Metaphor, I have a question.
Equity.
Metaphor, I have a question. Sorry, do you think there's any African, right, that actually entered the United States illegally? I'm just asking.
Many now, many.
No, illegally.
Many.
What are you talking about?
Many.
What are you talking about? Illegally.
Many. My friend.
I'm not talking about the border because when we're talking about the border.
Yes, I'm giving you now.
No. You cannot see. The thing about it is that we are talking about statistics. It is very minimal.
What are you talking about, Oga? What are you talking about? You just asked me that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I say many Nigerians are in the US that came in from Mexico, even from Cuba. My friend swam. There's a guy in America. He swam from. He was coming from Cuba. He swam to Miami. That's a friend of mine in America. I know him.
So, can your friends?
He swam. He told me his story. I couldn't believe it. He swam.
That's what I don't understand. Because we have more South Americans, right, crossing the border. If you see
more Chinese.
Exactly. Probably if you see like 100,000 Latin America, you're going to see 1 or 2 Nigerians.
No, we've already established that tonight.
Someone coming here to tell me that they need to clamp down on.
No, bro, you've joined the connection late. You joined the connection late.
No.
Hold on, I'll mute you. I'll mute you. Chill. What we started off from, if you listen to Claudine said that the visa overstays are more than immigration.
Yes.
Claudia said that we're not debating that. In the past, before we had the quote-unquote open borders, what Nigerians and Africans were to get a visa, come to the States, then overstay. We're not debating that. You are right. We're done. What we're now saying is that today, the situation today where you have 12 to how many million, quote-unquote, on whatever name you want to keep them in America today, we are making the point that because they are coming in through the unofficial means, the guys that are still waiting for the official means are being shortchanged. We're not debating that. You are right. The folks in America today came in through overstays on a visa. There are different politicians that walked across the border with nothing. And I'm making a point that there's no way a Nigerian can come to the States without a paper. You have to have paper, whether it's visa, then you overstay it, but you have to have something. But according to Claudine's own information, Mexicans, 26,000. El Salvadorans, 2,000. Honduras, 4,000. Guatemala, 6,000. In America, without any paperwork whatsoever. How on that?
That's not you.
It's more than that. It's
way more. This is her own official data. Her own official data. It's there now. It's there.
The system is broken.
What is your data, Claudine?
This is like 30 years. It's broken.
Your graph you shared, Claudine.
You talked about DACA, right? The DACA was given in 2012 to those who came illegally when they were kids, and the millions of them. So the immigration system is broken, and the U.S. has to fix it from. Okay, let me tell you how it is easy to get here. People, like you said, they hop on the plane, they get in Brazil. From Brazil, they come by foot.
You fly to Mexico. If you have money, you fly to Mexico. If you have money, you walk.
Well, most people don't have money. Chinese do have money. They do that. So they go through Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador. I don't know until they get to Mexico. Nobody asks them anything. So there's a system that's broken.
They know where they are going.
It's a well-documented process. They have charities. They not even
But the thing is, the U.S. has to work with Mexico, and I think the Biden administration has started that, to work with Mexico to make sure.
Didn't they appoint a border czar to go and get the root cause of this issue? Wasn't there?
Actually, right now,
if people they use on Twitter, they want to be, something.
Actually, right now, there is an app by the Homeland Security.
Apple.
Yes.
And I just people hearing, please continue.
And you know that Apple is.
Let him talk now. Let him talk. Claudine, let him talk. Continue,
Anywhere
please.
you are, you can just fill in the app, tell them what points of the border you want to come
Claudine, let him talk.
No. Yes.
Claudine, let him talk.
For the app, that was part of the Mexico.
Hey.
No, it was paid. It was developed and paid for.
Homeland Security.
Exactly. Under
Mayorkas. Under Mayorkas. Under Mayorkas.
No, I'm gonna listen. It was under
Mayorkas.
Under Trump administration.
No, it was Mayorkas. Which Trump administration?
Let me make it better. Claudine, are you aware that the U.S. government will go to your home country and fly you from your home country to America to seek asylum? Are you aware?
It was exactly.
Claudine, you want receipts?
Okay,
You want receipts?
It's called parole, humanitarian.
I didn't say parole. I said if you fill that app. No. If you fill that app and you are in Haiti or Cuba.
It's not true.
It's not. You want receipts, Abi? You want the receipts? I'll give you the receipts.
Let me get you the receipt.
Oh, yeah, let me give you. Please continue, my good friend. Continue. Please continue where you're saying about apps. Please continue. Let me have the receipts.
So from anywhere at all in the world, you can fill up those app, tell them what points of the border you want to come in, and you're in. You understand? You fly to the place and you're in. Whatever information you provided is what they take. They don't even care whether they verify nothing. You understand? Which is how we ended up with over 400,000 convicted.
Hold on, don't victim shame everybody. Most people don't victim shame everybody. Just
I'm not victimizing people. I'm just telling you that right now in the United States, if
I just let me put that in the nest. I just posted something. CBP1 app on October 2020. Who was president?
What does the app say? I'm posting Homeland Security for you, Claudine. Documents reveal airports used by Secretary Mayorkas to fly hundreds of thousands of inadmissible aliens into the U.S. via CHNB mass parole scheme. I'm doing the screenshot. I've just put it on my Twitter feed. I'm going to do the screenshot so you won't say it's fake news. I'm doing the screenshot right now, and I'm going to copy it and post on my screen.
The app you guys are talking about, the CBP1 app, was put in place during the Trump administration. It was part of the build the border.
It was part of Remain in Mexico now, but they came and they took away Remain in Mexico and allowed the app. Did Trump fly people into America? Did Trump fly people into America? Did Trump go to? No, did Trump fly people into America?
Please, can I say something?
Please go ahead. Continue trying to harass us.
I'm waiting for that link.
I've put the link up. It's on my feed. Go to my profile.
What I saw based on the CBP1 app was, it was last year, May, that Mr. Biden decided to use the app.
Claudine, let him learn.
October 28, 2020,
Yes, it's what I'm saying. I'm saying that app was when Donald Trump created the app, but Joe Biden decided to use the app from last year May.
Why did he create it?
But is he saying the fact, was the app not used by Biden 6 months ago?
Why did he create the app?
The app was needed to face the people who were remaining in Mexico to verify their asylum status.
Do you know how much money it to make that? They got the money from resources they can have put.
Claudine, what is your defense? This is a factual issue. It's a factual matter. The app exists. The app is being used. I just shared the link on Twitter from the Homeland Security Subcommittee. That subcommittee is flying folks that apply for payroll into America directly from their home country, not Nigeria, not Africa, from their home country directly into America. What are you arguing about? Are we not Africans? Why can't they fly out to America?
Carlo, remember that Claudine said that she's an immigration lawyer.
She's keeping her distance.
She need that chaos to make money. If I was her, I would be defending that same position. You understand?
I don't see the app you said.
Claudine, are with Nigerians, so we can, if we enter you also.
I have Nigerian clients. Has any Nigerian used the app and was able to come here? Tell me.
Program, this is from PBS. Program that allows 30,000 migrants from 4 countries into the U.S. each month, upheld by judge. Yeah. Dated March 8, 2024. A federal judge in Texas upheld a key piece of President Joe Biden's immigration policy that allows a limited migrant population from 4 countries to enter the United States of America. Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, and Haiti. They will fly you. They will fly. Let me say to the judge, so don't mind Claudine. They will fly you from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Haiti directly into the U.S. You will tell them the town you want to go to. They will fly you there. Don't mind Claudine that is here talking.
Can I explain what that program is? So it's called the humanitarian parole. Like I said, the executive does not create the law. It's already there in the.
Say that again. Say that again. It just says it here that the Joseph Biden, this is PBS, not Fox or CNN. PBS is saying a federal judge upheld a key piece of President Joe Biden's immigration policies right here.
Why do you think a judge in Texas, which is a Republican, upheld that?
Because he's a Democrat. Judges can be Democrats. It's not a judge that is suing Trump. Isn't a judge suing Trump that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million?
Do you want to have echo chambers, or you want to have divergent?
Are you not here? Have I removed you? You've been here. Have I removed you?
But give it to me to explain that process. The reason why a judge in the Supreme Court has not halted, because there are other programs that the Biden tried and they have been halted. The one is that would have allowed people who are married to U.S. citizens or U.S. parents or whatever, who are here illegally, to adjust to get their green card. That program was stopped by an immigration judge in Texas. They always sue in Texas because Texas is a Republican, and all the judges, most of them are, conservative. But that program, because it's a humanitarian parole, meaning you are being accepted to come in on the humanitarian grounds, and it's specific to countries like you say Ukraine.
Not Ukraine. There's no Ukraine. Venezuela, Haiti, Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua.
Nicaragua, because those countries, they already have TPS, if you know that. So meaning that those countries have already been determined as countries that have issues.
But you are simply explaining the policy that is true.
Yes,
it's true. They are flying them into America. And the point we are making is that they can also fly us.
I'm from Rwanda, right? I'm from Rwanda. In 1994, the same programs were afforded to Rwandans because we had went through a genocide.
Thank you, Claudina. I wanted to say that.
Yeah. So it's been here since.
Yeah, but Claudine, that's the point we're making today. No. How many African countries are getting that program? Are Sudanese getting that program?
What?
Are Sudanese getting this program? That
Yes, they have that in the
sure.
back then.
No. What do they
today,
today with a civil war today?
On Friday,
Okay.
Lebanese.
Today with the war in Sudan, are the Sudanese getting?
They already have TPS.
No. I'm asking you a direct question. Are they getting it today? Not today. Are the Sudanese being flown into
They
America?
have TPS. Yeah, they do.
No, but are they flying them into America today?
Nobody's flying anywhere to America.
We just confirmed they were flown to America. 4 countries just confirmed it now.
Nobody's going to fly. Your family, first of all, the way it works, you have to have somebody in the US who's willing to sponsor you.
Claudine, I just quoted for you the House Homeland Security Committee. I'm quoting it for you.
I'm going to put it in the comments for people to know how it works. Okay.
We don't want to know how it works. You are does it?
You can say they are flying. We have to have somebody
Oh,
in
this
the
guy's
US
gonna
who's
kill me
willing
on this my
to take
space.
you in. It is true.
Claudine, we're not in a legal class. The point we're trying to make is this.
Facts are facts.
The point we're trying to make is that they are favoring a certain part of the world. That's what I'm saying. And I've asked you a direct question. You can't answer it. Yes, because that's what the documents say. Correct. That's what the documents say. I didn't make it up. This is the Homeland Security document.
Yeah, let me show.
Signed by Secretary Mayorkas himself. I didn't make it up. And I'm asking you, has Secretary Mayorkas flown Sudanese to America?
Kalu, this process was been for expired for Ukraine.
The answer is no.
It has been for all these people, Afghanistan, all these people that have had issues in the past.
The answer is
I
no.
just put in the comments.
The answer is no. Let's get someone else to speak in here. Thanks for
So back to the topic. Basically, I want to talk on the topic. It amazes me when you see Nigerians, like especially Africans, try to campaign or talk on Donald Trump. I've been on Twitter Space.
Don't they have that right?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Exactly. Everybody has rights. I see some people come here, they just talk and, they just talk on some policies or they talk on propaganda that they hear on the news and things like that.
Make your point.
So one thing is that Trump does not, back to the topic, does not my use of word, give an F about Africans.
But we don't care if he gives an F about Africa.
No. Remember your topic. This is your topic.
We care policy. We don't care about his person.
So first thing first, this guy was in office for like 4 years. He never even visited any African country.
So
he's vice president. Wait. He asked me. Did you visit any of the African countries? Right now we have that. Secondly, this guy, a lot of the policies that he makes, right? Trump, we know that Trump favors like anything is, he favors anything. We'll say American, but not just American, right? The rich. He favors the rich. A lot of the policies.
No, bro.
What are you talking about? You're not in America, you're talking here. No, you're talking about.
All right, name one policy. I want you to name one policy that Trump did.
You want an echo chamber? Read it.
Claudine, you are here. You are saying echo chamber. You are here. Have I moved anybody?
No.
So why is it echo chamber? You come in and you come in. We don't call you in. I'm not letting you stop talking.
Let him finish his
point. Because 3 guys were talking at the same time. The point I'm asking him is this: what's the policy that Trump did in office that hurt Africa? Name the policy.
Sometimes with presidency, right, we have body language, right, and some of the things that he said. Now, I'm going to retrace when he said shithole countries that a lot of people are actually just wait. He said, people that come to Africa are like shithole countries. Now, the thing you're going to look at is not Trump policy. What's this guy? What's his name? That Jewish guy, the Homeland Security person. What's his name? I think Jared Kushner. No, I think Miller. Yeah, Miller, and also Jared Kushner, right? A lot of the policies that guy was making, right? So it was. Wait, just wait. I cannot probably tell you the exact one, right? Because they were putting money. Listen, they were putting money in Africa just the way every other industrial complex put money in Africa, just to suck money from Africa, right? but they were not doing the direct policies that affect our economy because they don't care. That's what they do not care about us. They do not care about.
Can I ask you a question? Name one policy that Obama did that helped Africa.
A lot. Actually, a lot. Right? So, but the thing about it is that if they want to talk or they want to say anything.
No, I want you to name one policy that Obama did that helped Africa.
Yeah. So during Obama, during what's it called? During Ebola, we know what he did.
What did he do?
We know some of the support that he gave because I was
do?
directly affected too. We know some of the things that he did.
Like
he gave
what?
a lot of funding, a lot of support to Africa.
Funding to
right?
who? To who?
Yeah, to Liberia. Do you know the number of USAID people that came to Nigeria during that time? I was part of it. Do you know the number of USAID that came to Nigeria that time?
Was created by Obama?
No, I'm not talking about USA, but I'm saying that the US presidency supported a lot of the things.
That was USA. I'm saying to give me something.
Do you know how much money the diaspora send home?
No, I don't want. I'm asking him a question. He said, I said, name a policy of Trump he couldn't name. Name a policy of Obama he can't name. But he's going by vibe and language.
I was able to give you the Ebola, some of the things that
Ebola is USA. It will happen with any president in power.
Exactly.
Let me
during COVID.
Hold on.
Because Trump was there. Look at what he did during COVID.
What did he do during COVID?
He didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything.
Give me a nation that did something for Africa, so we can compare. Give me a nation that did something for Africa, so we can compare. Which nation did something for Africa, so we can compare with America's response? Give me the nation that did something. No one did anything for anybody, my brother.
Obama did something.
Like what did he do?
He gave a lot of support. And
Through
Clinton, Melania, Clinton, and whatever, they also supported Africa.
You're operating with vibes, man. You're operating with vibes. Let's move on. Let me get Charlie. Let's get Charlie in here. Charlie, hop right in.
Yeah, I'm honestly, Khaled, I'm disappointed in this conversation. I am.
So why are you joining if you're disappointed?
I'm disappointed what I'm hearing. I like the conversation. I'm disappointed what I'm hearing. I tell you what, I have been in a lot of spaces arguing on the behalf of not just Black Americans, but Africans living in America. And I've gone against ADO, I've gone against FBA, I've gone against racists, white nationalists. I'll tell you why this is disappointing. I don't know what the consensus is in this room, whether Africans in this room are Americans trying to help Americans.
I'll help you out. So I want to get straight to the point. Let's get to the point. No, okay. I want you to move. Just get to the point. We are just talking about you. It doesn't matter who we are. Just get to the point, sir, if you don't mind. I know I'm pushing you on the spot.
I'm hearing a lot of conversations about Africans living in America talking about countries in Africa and what this country and this president is going to do for their home country versus what they're going to do for this United States, which you are a citizen of since you plan to go vote. About Trump, here's the thing. You can sugarcoat it, wash it however you want to do it. Trump has one agenda, and that agenda is simple. He wants an America that looks more like him, more like his folk, more like Caucasian, more like Scandinavia. It doesn't include Asians, Africans, doesn't include Latinos.
Yeah, but we're not on that topic. We're talking about it's the only economic policy.
That's the problem I have. When you start talking,
bro, I'm going to take you out of space. We want you to stay on topic.
You let him talk.
No, I'm not going to let him talk. I'm not going to let him talk. I want you to stay on focus. I'm not here to do personality. Focus.
I'm on focus.
Economic policy, which is right there. Which economic policy will hurt Africa? You can bring in Trump attach a policy to it, kill him.
But your title says Trump or Harris.
It's right there. Economic policies favor. It's right there.
Trump has no economic policy for Africa.
This is what I'm trying to tell Kalu.
He has none. You know why he has none? Because he thinks Africa is number one, is the whole country, and he thinks number two that they're all shithole countries. He has said this. You've heard him on tape say this.
There we go again with that. So what's Kamala's policy for Africa?
I put it this way: Kamala's Africa. First,
I'm listening.
You want me to go on?
Yeah.
You want me to go on? Now, for the Americans that are living here, let's start here.
What is Kamala's policy for America, for Africa?
LGBTQ plus. Why
no? Let's talk about
Let him talk. Let him talk. Don't interrupt him. What is Kamala's policy for Africa?
Okay, let's talk about this. Number one, because we got to start. Charity starts at home. We're taught that, right? So let's start there. $50,000 for starting businesses. Let's talk about home ownership.
No, sir. I won't let you get. You said Trump does not have a policy for Africa. I'm asking you about Kamala. You're telling me 50,000 homes for Africans.
I think Kamala's policy for Africa would be the same as Biden or Obama.
Which was
bringing you guys bringing Africans on the world stage.
And Trump didn't do that. We just read an article.
No,
that
Trump
said that
never did that.
Trump
called you a shithole.
Trump gave the World Bank $12 billion. Merged them to African nations, to poor nations in Africa, Latin America, and Asia. I'm quoting the World Bank President Bajaj from India. I'm quoting him.
What Biden gave to Africa.
No, that's him.
Searching for
He's the one making the case. I didn't make the case.
So you're making cases for
He's the one talking, not me. He said Trump has no policy.
Since Trump has been in office, when Trump was in office, how many African leaders came to visit the White House?
All of them came. He had a whatever summit and they came.
How many came to visit the White House?
Is that what we're going to use? That's a macroeconomic indicator.
We're talking about character.
I don't do character. I'm not in Jesus' land. I'm not doing character with anybody. I'm doing economic policy. It's not important to me. It's not important to me. The U.S.
When someone calls you a shithole, it does
What
matter
is the character
about their
of
character. So when someone is not calling you a shithole, maybe you...
What's the character of King David, a man that adulterated, murdered people? What's his character? We don't care about character. Call me a shithole and invest $10 billion. Tell me you love me and tax my remittances. Jesus said, a man told his son, go to the farm, I won't go. He told another son, go to the farm, I will go. One went, one didn't go. You are spoiling my pastor rhymes, Claudia. I was getting my pastor rhymes.
No.
Jesus did all that.
Leave all that matter. We don't have time. Listen. Just so you know, I will not allow you come to the space and turn it to a Trump. I've already done it for you. Let me say it again in case you missed. Trump is a buffoon. Trump is a narcissist. Trump does not have the personal capacity to be the president on a personal level. I believe so. But Trump had inflation at almost zero. Trump brought manufacturing back to America. Trump allowed fossil fuels to grow in America. And those things allowed Nigerians to send remittances back home to Africa. When Trump was in power, Black Americans got more jobs. African Americans, Nigerian Americans in America sent more remittances back home to Nigeria. That's what I'm interested in. Don't come here and tell me Trump is bad. We know we're not looking for a pope. We are looking for a guy that will fight inflation. Let's move on to Oxley.
The Biden administration in 2021 committed to give $51 billion to Africa.
Committed. Did they give it?
And they did.
Who?
Excuse me. Hello, can I come in?
Who did they give it to?
She's talking about.
Wait, 50 billion.
Carlo, what she's talking about is for renewable energy.
Did The money never came. Biden couldn't get that money passed through Congress. What are you talking about? We didn't even have Google. I Google.
And then you think Trump did cause
Trump factually increased the budget of the World Bank by 12 billion. Merged through the
he has the money.
Yes, he approved it and it was increased 12 billion. Biden didn't do it. You keep on going this Congress and president. You said Obama did DACA, but Trump did not do immigration. Stay on one lane, Claudine. Stay on one lane. The president can either all doing or can't do. Stay on one lane. You can't go back and forth.
Until when they increase all the tariffs and when they increase all the tariffs that Trump's trying to do, when they're trying to bring in crude oil, don't worry, I'm going to see your truth that time. Probably if Trump wants to, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, Alota. Listen. No need to get to talk like that. You can speak clearly and we can listen to you speak. No need to go, I'll see my tweet. It's not about Kalu. If you think you have a point, make it. Don't say, I'll see my tweet as if I am God. No. The point, when I said this place, I said it here. Mr. Trump is pursuing a tariff-based trade regime. How many tariffs does Nigeria place on U.S. goods? And I said if Nigeria, if US places tariffs on China, it favors Nigeria because many industries will come to Nigeria to avoid the tariff the same way they're going to Mexico, Vietnam, and Madagascar. It favors you if they impose those tariffs because you then become an option for manufacturing. Don't be too one-line linear. Don't be too linear and follow everything you say. Think outside the box. We're in a global game here. If China is suffering tariffs, they have to go somewhere else. They might come here. So think of that. Oxley, you got the floor up, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlo. I hope nobody means I hope he wants to speak.
Hello, Carlo. Another Trump policy that will favor Africa is lowering energy price.
I think it hurts us.
You mean our exports? You mean Nigeria's exports?
I think it hurts us. If you make it lower, then that means that Saudi Arabia wins because they have a lower cost of energy than Nigeria. We have a $40 what's it called? Break even. Yeah, not per barrel, $40 per break even. So if oil gets to $30, we can't export oil. Fracking is about $70. So if Donald Trump boosts energy output, what will happen is that gas will become a key player for Nigeria, but not oil. But it's better than what the Democrats are proposing, which is to stop oil and gas completely. To Democrats, gas is a dirty fossil fuel. I don't know why, but that's what it is. Okay, Nakis, let me get Oxley. Oxley, you've got the floor. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Carlo. I hope no one will this.
Okay, just talk. This one I say no one interrupt you.
They don't. So straight to the point. Trump presidency will be good for Africa. And here are my reasons. Very simple. Trump doesn't give a shit about Africa, right? So we need a president in the White House that doesn't give a damn about what is happening in Africa. He will just mind his business and get Africa to mind our business. All right? So in doing that, that will be favorable to Africa. We don't want a president in the White House that is prognosing every day, calling presidential law of some other African countries, meddling in our affairs. And that was the way they meddled in the 2015 election that brought the disaster called Buhari. I'm talking of Obama. Obama and John Kerry were responsible for the disaster called Buhari. They practically came down to Nigeria to meddle in our affairs. Same with the Tinubu. So Trump is not interested. Trump is never interested in our affairs, and it will be good for us. That's number one. Number two, Trump, the policies of the World Bank and the IMF, and they say because energy is very cheap in Nigeria, the IMF and the World Bank are interested in taking the energy cost of Nigeria upwards to make industries not to survive here. Nigeria energy cost was very low before now, and these guys want us gradually and systematically hike our energy cost such that industries will no longer be profitable to do their business. I mean, you can see so many industries have left
Nigeria and some other African countries. Tariff to China will be good for Africa because just like the way when Trump was piling up tariff on China, so some Chinese companies were entering into Mexico to establish their industries, thereby, because thereby doing their industries and shipping those goods straight to
what do you think about immigration by marriage?
He's speaking. Let him speak.
Hold on, please. Let me finish. You are interjecting me. Let me finish, please. So that is it. So Trump is good for Africa. Now, I want to respond very quickly to what Claudia said about EB1 visa, blah, blah, blah. EB1 visa is, I think they call it Einstein visa. It is mostly for PhD students that are in the United States, PhD students that have done their master's and they are in their PhD route and they are physically present in the United States. So if you file for those visas, the USCIS most likely approve it. You cannot be in Lagos or Pacarency or in Abuja, physically in Lagos, and you are applying for an EB1 visa. You can't get it if you are not physically, if you're not already in the US. If you are in Lagos or you're in Abuja and you are filing for an EB1, nobody's going to listen to you. EB1 visa are visas for PhD students. They call them Einstein visa. You are already in the US. You are in the PhD. Those are the people that they need those visas, right? People that have good research, and your professor will write a case for you.
Later, please
when you are in Lagos,
an expose presentation. Those are the misconceptions.
My point is, hold on. So my point is, it is not when you are in Lagos. H1B visa, H2B visa are non-immigrant work visas. But no company, the companies that can, let me finish. The companies that how many companies are allowed to give a H1B visa? When you are in Lagos, when you are on track, it is not available. It is not available. It is a scheme. Nobody gives it. No company. In fact, the US department cannot even allow you to, cannot even allow you. It's very limited, right? So if you are saying the people do get, nobody gets those. H1B visa is a non-immigrant visa. F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. B1 visa is a non-immigrant visa, but everyone can allow you to work, maybe CPT or OPT. That's correct. But you have to be in the United States, right? But the point is,
I'm making that point.
I've made in Lagos or you're in Abuja, can you easily get good visas?
You can't. Okay, that's the point I've made to her over and over again. I've made the point over and over to her again. In the past in Nigeria, let's go 10 years back in Nigeria. Let's just go 20 years back in Nigeria. You could apply as a Nigerian for a green card lottery. So many Nigerians in America got a green card. From nowhere, their parents were poor, they had no money, they could never afford to go to the US, but they got that green card lottery. That changed the life of their family. Because America is a land. Please hold on. Because America is a land of opportunity. That was the green card visa lottery. Then they stopped the green card visa lottery because of equity. They said Nigerians, because of population, are over sampled in the green card visa lottery system. So we now have to go back to normal visa, whether it is B1, H1, whatever it is. As a Nigerian, to legally go from Nigeria to America, you need a visa and a passport. That automatically means that if you are poor in Nigeria, you cannot go to the US. So equity, that disparate discrimination then happens because only the rich Nigerians can go to America. Now, in the last 3 years, we have a situation where if you are poor,
can you tell me?
I want you to let me speak. Now, if you are poor all over the world, but you live on the continent of South America, you can walk across the border to America and that will change your life. But if you live in Africa or you have an ocean separating you, you cannot get to America without a visa. That's the point I'm making. I'm not debating immigration policy. I'm not blaming Obama, Trump, or Bush or anybody. I am saying that singular policy of allowing people to jump the line, to skip the line, favors people on the continent that can walk across the border. It doesn't favor people that do the right thing and apply for a legal visa in their home country, which is the legal way you are supposed to do it. Let's get Ade Omojula to speak. Ade, go ahead. Ade, you got the floor. Ade, going once. Ade, going twice.
Okay, why Ade is waiting to speak? Nigeria went off the DP lottery so many years ago.
That's what I said 20 years ago. I said 20 years ago.
So that was not Biden or...
I didn't say Biden. I said 20 years ago. Okay, let's get Trevor. Did I get it right? Trevor, medical students. I can't pronounce the name. I don't spoil it. Trevor, you got the floor. Trevor, go ahead. You guys can't hear me? Oh, he's dropped off. Ade Omojula, can you hear me? Or I'll take you off. Trevor, you're requested to speak, man. Go ahead. All right. Let's get Armando. Let's get O'Connor. Oh, jeez. Armando, you've got the floor. Go ahead. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Armando, go ahead.
Can I speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I've been listening to your meeting right here on Next, and I just found your meeting very interesting. So, you basically your tomato, which is global Paris, post-economic politics favor Africa. My opinion is, so I am 20 years old, and from my perspective, I think Trump's economic or his plans, or if he gets elected, I think he will have a major impact on Africa. I don't know if you agree with me.
Why do you say so, sir?
Okay. So, I live here in the US. I live in the state of Georgia. I'm 20 years old, like I said, and I am a student. So, back when I was younger, like 12, Trump was elected into power. I remember that many people were very against it, and so I thought, well, we'll see what happens. I'm only 12 years old. Well, now that I grew up and I have lived through both Harris and Trump's presidential period, as a citizen from here, when Trump was president, life here was much better compared to when Biden and Harris were in power. Because one, the interest rates were very low. Not just that, but also many things were great, like jobs, taxes were low. There was world peace, unlike when Biden was in power, because when Biden got elected, many things happened, many wars happened, like the Russia-Ukraine war happened, and so on and so forth. Now, economic value to Africa. Here's the thing. So China, like you said, is a very big player. They are investing big in Africa. They have their money in different parts of Africa. They are creating, their companies are coming to Africa. They're extracting the resources from Africa. Essentially, from my point of view, they want Africa to be the next, like, world factory. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. That if China is squeezed, they've got to export those jobs outside China, and already they're in Nigeria. I give the point about the Brazilian guy in Enugu doing pineapples. There are lots of Chinese companies. I know Lagos State had a session, I think a few years ago, where they were basically advertising to the Chinese companies to come to Lagos and manufacture from the free trade zones to export to America. So it's a big opportunity for Nigeria if trade between the major players turns into a war. We take advantage. I agree with you.
Yes, and also many American companies, many companies from the US, they are also investing a lot of money in Africa lately. not just that, but also European countries, they have pretty much put all of their money into Africa. They're also expanding. They want that cheap labor from Africa, and essentially, the thing here is which president will enable these companies to pretty much export their, I don't know, their factories to Africa.
So just coincidentally, so are you a U.S. citizen or you're just in school there? Are you going to vote?
No, I am a U.S. citizen. I'm going to vote.
In Georgia, that's a swing
state. And here's the thing. Yeah, that's a swing state. It's right above Florida. Now, here's the thing. In Georgia, last presidential election, it was determined by only 20,000 votes. And the thing about last presidential election, only 1/3, that's what they say, only 1/3 of the U.S. population didn't vote. That's a huge number.
So you think it's going to be different this time around? I'm already seeing the numbers. Turnout is exceptionally high, even with the issues with the floods.
So here's the thing: the polls are very confusing. Younger demographics like me, students, younger first-time voters, many of them are undecided on who they're going to vote for. Many of my classmates are they're going to vote for Harris. The main reason being because the core values of them align with Harris, like LGBTQ, those things and those other things. And, well, to some degree, I really think to myself, I think you should be focusing on who will make this country better and not who is going to, reinforce your emotions.
Okay, good point. I'm looking
at... Can I ask him a question, Carlo?
Yeah, sure. You want to ask him or I? Who are you asking? Him?
Him.
Yeah.
So, Armando, it's nice to hear from you, from a young, second-time voter, right? So, do you know how the inflation came to be? Because the inflation, that was the cause of everything.
That's another thing. Thing.
So, because during COVID, we had a pandemic, and to respond to the pandemic, they have to put money in people's pockets so that the economy does not collapse.
But Claudine, this is my wheelhouse. No, because you want to confuse the young man.
Yeah. No. And then, because of that, of course, the inflation went up, which, interest rates and all that stuff. So now, to putting it down, it takes time, right? Like it did in 2008 when after the recession, the Obama administration took power and they put the money in the market and whatever. And during the 2012 elections, by the way, don't do that. During 2012 elections, there were also the economy was very, very really tight. But as Obama finished his 8th year of administration, the economy was better, which is the economy Trump inherited until, COVID came, and, the way he handled it in the beginning by denying that it was a big deal also contributed into that economy and everything, the crisis being even worse. So I don't know if you think about that.
Armando, let me just give you a quick brief on economy. Just quick brief, right? So inflation, right? When you see prices going up, it's usually caused by maybe too much printing of money. But let me give you something. When Obama was the president of America, he printed massive amounts of money. There was no inflation. None. Go back and look at the history. He printed trillions. He did QE1.
2008.
Armando, let me talk. He did QE1, QE2. That's quantitative easing, which means he printed money. There was no inflation. Trump came to office. There was no inflation. During COVID, Trump printed money and gave out as COVID benefits. There was no inflation. What caused inflation was when Biden took over office. COVID was already going down. Already. Remember, they had already done the vaccinations, they had done the warp speed to get the vaccines out. It was on a downturn. Biden did that final stimulus that they told him was not needed. Secretary Yellen was told to cause inflation. She said inflation is transitory. Remember that word, transitory? That inflation got to 9% because there was no more COVID and there was lots of cash. And that's what caused inflation. Also, inflation in America was driven by energy prices, not just by monetary policy. And Biden refused to allow Keystone and other energy investments that would allow energy prices to come down. Why did inflation come down today? Because Biden then had to tell the Secretary of Energy to sell down the strategic oil reserves of America. That's why gas in America is low, and that's what brought inflation down. Rents in America are still high and inflated. Inflation in America is not over. It's still 2.5% under Biden. Rents are still high with inflation. It's not over. But the core inflation is not going down. That's what I'm telling you.
It is going down.
Please, Claudine, don't argue about it that you can Google. Google core inflation. It's down because of energy. It's down. But if you take away the food, energy, those things are down. But rents are still up. It's still 2.5 growth. The last inflation.
Rents are going down.
The last. Okay, I'm sorry to keep you here. I think you made your comments. I think that they are well taken. Let me just give this to you whilst you're here.
Wait, so I have to make a comment. So inflation did happen during Trump, right? It also happened during Obama. The thing is that inflation was very constant. That to us regular citizens, it didn't feel like when inflation was under Biden. When inflation was under Biden, it was terrific. Not long ago, I wanted to get a car, and do you know how much they told me on interest rates?
It's
20%.
How much?
20% for a car. 20% for a car.
Yeah.
That's
Claudia will tell you it's not true because she doesn't agree with your narrative. That is the fact. There was a serious inflation.
Because I also went to buy it for a car.
It doesn't, but that is reality. You can't say it's not true.
Maybe 6%.
No.
How can it be 6% when inflation is 9%? How is that possible? Are you going to sell a car lower than inflation? How? What was the prime rate for the banks? It was more than 6%. So the economy was in tatters. And remember, Armando, you always want inflation. America has an inflation target of 2%. So you always want inflation. So with Obama, with Trump, if you have it at 2%, that's okay. Because that allows the goods to keep on rising in prices, which allow revenues to grow. There's nothing wrong with 2% inflation. But when you have 9% inflation in 12 months, you can't invest. You can't save. Look at that's why the budget deficit blew up, because then America is paying $1 trillion every 3 months. 1 trillion in interest every 3 months. 1 trillion. Because interest rates went up to 9, 8, 7, 6. That's why it went to $1 trillion. So Trump has said he's going to do energy. If energy prices come down, that pulls core and all inflation in America down.
2.4%.
It's what?
The inflation is at 2.4%.
Yes, so it grew by 2.4%. That's what it means. It doesn't mean it's going down. It means it has grown by 2.4%.
It's going down.
No.
It doesn't mean it's going down. It means the rate of growth is going down. It's not going down. The rate of growth is going down. It's growing, but at a slower speed.
But how do you explain there's the unemployment numbers are down, right?
America has always had 7 million backlog of unemployment.
We used to have like 13% unemployment. Now it's like 4.6%.
You never had 13% employment. Never. You never had it. You never had it. You never. You never had it. Listen, under Trump, there's something called, is it Fisher Cup? Amado, what is studying in school? Amado, what is studying in school?
I am studying economics. I want to be president of my country one day. I am not from the US.
What country are you from?
Bolivia.
Bolivia.
Do you know where that is?
Of course, I know where it is. La Paz. Where you get high altitude football teams. I know your country.
Yes, yes. So I want to be president of my country one day, and I don't know where to start. So the main reason why I'm here in this show of yours is because I wanted to raise some concerns about this election. This election, it's very tight. It will be very tight. There are many people out there that are not going to vote. There are many people out there that are very unsure. And whoever gets to be president, whether it's Harris or Trump, it will have either positive impacts or negative impacts. Okay?
I think, Amanda, I'm looking at the latest polling. This is the last polling that's going to be done in America, the last one before the elections. We have the major polling guys. The most accurate polling that was done in 2000 was done by a firm called Atlas Intel. Atlas Intel was the most accurate poll in 2020. They had Biden winning. Now, according to their polls, they have Trump winning by 3. If I look at the overall average, has Harris winning. So if you take all the major polls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's you take Atlas, Rasmussen, TIPP, Reuters, Harvard, Fox, CBS, the big polling companies, and you do the average, Harris wins by 0.9. If you go line by line, Trump is winning on 4 of them, and Harris is winning on about 6 or 7 of them. So like I said, very, very tight election. This is going to come down to turnout. It's going to come down to turnout. And it's going to be an early night or a very, very long drawn-out process. But we'll see.
Also, you have said early voting, and the turnout has been even more, especially in Georgia. More than 2 million people have voted in early voting.
That's a red flag for Harris. Red flag for Harris. No, for Harris, because Democrats vote early, but look at the numbers, they are high, meaning Republicans are also voting with Democrats. So there's no Democrat early voting advantage. The numbers are high because Republicans are also voting. That's what I'm saying, it's a red flag for Harris. Republicans are not waiting for November the 5th to vote. Trump has told them, go and vote early.
There's no question about that.
But you know the point there, the election might be over by 10 a.m. Sorry, by 10 p.m. Because if Ms. Harris does not win North Carolina, that's the first thing they're going to call North Carolina. Doesn't win it, doesn't win Georgia, it's going to be the second thing to call. Georgia doesn't win it, then we go to Pennsylvania. I know Pennsylvania is going to wait. They won't call the elections early, they're going to wait. But once Mr. Trump starts to run up numbers in North Carolina, in Georgia, that look too quote-unquote big to rig, and Wisconsin and Michigan start to run up numbers, it's over. It might be over by 10 p.m. Amanda, I wish you the very best, man. Thanks for holding this case.
I'm not done. So, like I said, this election will come down to votes, and I am young, of course, and I care about my future. I'm sure that when you were young, you also care about your future. And I want to have some sort of impact on this election. I don't know if you can check my Twitter account right now.
Okay, what should I do with it?
Just go over my Twitter, just go to my tweets, my replies.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this idea on my mind that I just cannot get rid of. So, I would like to host like one last interview between Harris and Trump.
You want to host?
Yes. I know it sounds crazy, but
Trump is selling burgers right now in Pennsylvania. Literally, Trump is selling burgers.
He's dressing up. He's dressing up as a.
He's hustling, man. He's hustling.
Harris worked at McDonald's when he was in high school.
Harris is asleep.
She did work at McDonald's. He's just
She didn't work at McDonald's.
Yes, she did.
Of course she didn't.
In high school.
She did not.
She grew up
in a middle class family.
Middle class.
Like if I hear Harris grow up in a middle class family one more time, I'll be a millionaire. Amado, I'm on your Twitter feed, so you want to hook up with Kamala and Trump. Honestly, bro, I doubt it because elections are in a week away. Right now, they are doing turnout. They won't. Yeah.
Look, so very crazy. I don't know. In my replies, there's this one, the latest one. I don't know if you can refresh it.
So what do you want me to do? What do you want to do? So I'm looking at it. What do you want to happen?
So let me tell you about my idea. I just need support from the internet. Maybe you can help me out.
All right. Don't worry, we're gonna retweet it. So hey guys, I'm gonna retweet Amado's thingy. He wants Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Kamala. Let's retweet for him. Abi, I just retweeted it for you. So if you go to my retweet, you'll see Amado's tweet. He wants to interview Donald Trump and Kamala, and he copied Elon Musk. If you can, young guy, retweet for the guy. Let's see what will happen. Let's support his missionary to get to the permanent site. So Amada, I retweeted it for you. Let's see what's going to happen. Because of my side, Claudia, I'm bringing you back here to talk to Nigerians about immigration. You have to come here and talk to us about immigration.
I'll be happy.
We'll bring you back here, not to worry. So guys, let me retweet Amado's, please, don't take anything. You got 5 retweets already, and you get a lot more by the time it's over. Amado, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging here. Make sure you put your conscience. You're a young man. I like your vision and your focus of going back to your country. So try to go work for try to look at what Obama did, walk to the answer. So ask yourself, how do I become a president? Walk to the answer. Where do I need to work at to be in government, right? Lots of development institutions will hire you. You are young. Get that experience. Get those contacts. Join a quote-unquote think tank. Something like that. That they know you. They have you on their Rolodex. They can send you back there. You can make friends across both sides of the aisle. It will help you. You're on the right path, bro. All right.
Is it okay if I send you text messages on your Twitter accounts?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Compound. Look at compounding. Compounding Naira. What that mean? Say, Claudia, say on my side.
Good evening, Mr. Collins. How are you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. I've been harassed throughout the Twitter feed, but I'm surviving.
I've been listening to the conversation. It's been a little refreshing. For me, I really don't have a candidate in this election. I don't care who wins, who loses, honestly. But I think if we had Trump in the White House, it would give African countries more independence. That is something I like. I like countries to be able to run on their own terms. I don't like, the U.S. meddling in other people's...
Someone else said that.
Right. And also, I like the regulations he will bring. Trump he's for small government. You understand? The U.S. government has become too big. It needs to be cut in half, 50%, in my opinion.
No, I hear you, but I'm going to stop you. I get that part, but I'm just saying, what do you think in terms of Africa? I want to relate it back to Africa. If they cut the government, does it help Africa if the government is cut? Because lots of Africans get aid from the U.S. Do you think it's going to aid us or hurt us if they cut, that assistance?
So that's where I'm indifferent. I don't think anything Trump or Harris does in D.C. is going to make any difference. I think it would be better for Trump to be there because he would do less. He would not meddle in other people's issues. He would let Africa be Africa, do what they want to do with their culture, with everything else. But with Harris in there, they'll continue what they've been doing. Telling other countries to invade other countries or meddle in other countries. That's not my kind of thing. I like people to have that independence. That's where I stand with this.
So it's for you, it's more like an independence, and you want the guys to basically have the independence in what they do.
Oh yeah, Africa needs to stand by itself.
So I'm going to share. Someone sent me a thing where Trump removed Cameroon from a trade policy. And then someone sent me something where Obama said we're going to sanction Nigeria because of gay rights that we passed. So you can see both Trump and Obama came in, also to meddle, but I get where you're coming from. No worries. All right, thanks for calling. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, hi, how are you doing? I think we get off a little bit, but you know, it's needed. For Africa, to be honest, I think Trump will be better for America, but bad for Africa. What do I mean? Trump is more isolationist, which is good for the country. He was going to do good for his country, but Kamala is so terrible. I think she's going to do so well for Africa because she'll be so busy with other things that China will just keep, making deals and doing all that. For now, I think we are being ignored by the US because they are being occupied with Ukraine, which is amazing to us. China is just doing what they want, which is good for us. But Trump getting there is going to stop a lot of things. He's going to say, hey, China, they are all looking at China now. They want to fight China. They want to, since this Biden administration has been in place. Well, Trump, he wants a piece of the pie. He's going to want his share. He's going to, hey, you can't share up Africa between yourselves. I need my own share. Because I think they've virtually been kicked out of Africa. Russia has taken the Niger, Mali, Chad. Nigeria, I don't know where we are. I don't know if you're joining BRICS or not. But I just think Harris there will just be so busy with Iran and Ukraine that China just keeps a very good relationship with Africa. But Trump getting in there, he's going to fight. He's going to disrupt BRICS, obviously.
Why do I think
he's not going to want them to just keep...
Why do I think you're a Trump fan?
I like Trump, but for Africa, I like Harris because they don't really think, she doesn't think that far, so she's not going to really affect us like that. But Trump is going to want a piece of the pie. Trump will, hey, we want Africa too. Trump will be like, hey, you BRICS, you guys want to do your own currency now? Okay, I want to join BRICS. I think that's Trump's first move. Say, okay, I want to join BRICS now. What are you guys going to do about it? I want BRICS. He's a disruptor. He will disrupt a lot of things. And he's going to spoil what the Russia, China, India are just working on the sidelines.
So you think let's detour a bit. BRICS is just. Let's just do a small detour. What's this BRICS thing? BRICS has no impact whatsoever on currency. BRICS is just China selling goods to people without using dollar. That's essentially what it is. Apart from that, it's nothing. I think Nigeria should join. But they're not going to have a currency. They're not going to have anything really. Nigeria should definitely join, but I don't see anything there apart from that yet.
Yeah, but I think Trump would disrupt it. He would disrupt it. Harris is focused on Iran. He's not going to look that way.
Iran. All right, I hear you. You yapped that, but you praised that. I hear you. No problem. Ori, thank you so much. Let's take Max Obesi. Max, what's on your mind?
Hi, Mr. Carlo. Well, I wanted to look at the issue from a different aspect.
Did you drop off? I'll do you back. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. So I was going to look at the issue from a different perspective. But before then, I just want to drop my 2 cents to the lady that spoke last. I just wanted to tell her the main reason why Trump is working at McDonald's today basically is just a troll. Because Kamala Harris, she lied that she worked in McDonald's, and Trump, in order to expose her to the lies that she probably told, has decided to kill her. Obviously, there's no evidence to show that she worked in McDonald's. If you have one,
is there reasonable reason to believe since she grew up in a poor
that's not evidence.
You have to work, but it's
at some point, madam, empirical evidence should be something that.
She worked. She has a W-9.
Yeah.
Which McDonald's?
That's what I'm saying. So if she worked in McDonald's, she has a W-9.
So Max, do you believe that I worked at Target?
Where's your W-9?
You say you worked there. Show us the evidence that you worked there.
Okay, so why should I give you any evidence?
Because you're running for president.
McDonald's is not Chicken Republic. Every person that has worked in McDonald's, you have a record with them.
It's not chicken
It's true
republic.
now. W9, Claudine, you know this
If
now.
that's the problem, if that's the issue,
So,
you can show it.
obviously, Trump is just told her.
You can go to
Did you
IRS.
listen to what he said? He said he has worked 15 minutes, and even with 15 minutes, he's worked more time.
No, I think making that claim. Don't forget, you guys are taking it too serious. What people are going to say, he's stalking the voters. Whether Kamala walked there or didn't walk there is immaterial. People are driving up there with their phones and taking a video of him serving them. They're going to send to their friends. So it's free advertising. It's free advertising. It doesn't matter whether he walked there, whether Kamala walked there. It's free advertising. Of course, the narcissists, that's what narcissists do. But narcissists win elections. So to sit and say, that doesn't make any sense. He's getting free adverts, free mentions. It's going on. Look at Twitter. It's trending on Twitter. So it's a smart way to use something and get votes from it. There's nothing. Nigerians sell corn. We don't like it. This guy is doing McDonald's. You know, why do they do corn? Because it sells. You do and play people's hair.
Don't you think that's desperate because he's doing it 10 days before the election?
It's propaganda. It's propaganda. We agree, but the point is that does it work? It works. That's why people do it, because it works. That's what I'm saying. People are talking about it on Twitter.
If I can draw your attention back to the main issue, I think this is just a by the way comment. The main issue and the question that you've asked, I wanted to say that.
At the end of the day, Harris, she tapped the Brett Bell interview, which I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I allowed?
Yes,
to
go ahead.
on?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So, my argument is that I think we should not make the mistake to look at the economic policies of each campaign in isolation. I think we should look at it alongside the foreign policies of both parties. You see, at the heart of both campaigns is an ideological difference as to how the world will be run. On the one hand, you have the Kamala Harris campaign that believe in the whole expansionist movement. The US expanding their grip on other countries, both militarily and economically. And even in terms of their values as well, so like the LGBTQ things that they sort of promote. So on the one hand, you have people who have those expansionist view of things, and on the other hand, you have someone who has an isolationist view of things. So the question is, which of those views would sort of help Africa the most? Both has some sort of advantage and some sort of disadvantage. So if you look at the expansionist people like Kamala, I heard someone said that because she would be trying to promote basically what she would be good for Africa because of that kind of mindset. I don't think that the fact that they want to expand, promote their economic plans, their cultural values, and whatever they want to promote on a broader scale, I don't think that would necessarily benefit us. Because you also need to consider the people behind the Harris campaign. You have the likes of Dick Cheney, you have the Bushes, and those.
Max, been around. Max, you're going to roll. So get people in. Yeah, time is going.
My apologies. So you have I'll try to summarize now because obviously I don't have the time. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you look at, I feel that Africa will benefit from the Trump's economic plan because on the one hand, the isolationist movement would not necessarily lead to wars within Africa, which is very key for us. But beyond that, Trump would be thinking of a bigger problem, which is the Russia-China alliance. And the Russia-China alliance is a big problem to America, not just economically, but on the military front as well. So in order to stop China expanding economically, you would see the trade war. And when the trade war happens, if it affects the Chinese economy, China would open more grants in Africa.
All right.
So, for instance,
all right, Max, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I hear you. Your points are fantastic. Those are coming to a hard stop. We've got about, we'll be here for about 3 hours, so about 30 minutes more to go. So let's get other folks in. Max, appreciate that. I got Amiable Festi. Max, thank you so much. Yeah, hi, how you doing? Good.
All right, happy Sunday.
Your audio is kind of low. Your audio is really bad, Amiable. Fix that audio. Let me get Eze Chikulu. Fix the audio and come back. I'll put you back in. Fix the audio. Let me get Eze Chikwelu.
I'm not gonna take much of your time. You guys are cracking me up. Did Max say that Dick Cheney is behind Kamala Harris?
That's what he said. Which is
that what he said? Max, is that how you understood American politics?
Well, is he not behind her? He endorsed her.
Okay. I guess he's the one writing our politics.
But he endorsed her, though.
Can I actually go on to ask you? I actually picked the mic because of what you said, and I wanted to understand your position, your thoughts on that. So you said something that by 10 o'clock, if North Carolina and Georgia turns out numbers that could not be rigged, then quote unquote something is likely to happen. How do you actually believe that 2020 election was rigged? And do you actually believe that the US election
That's not my concern.
will be rigged?
That's not my concern. The point I'm making is that 2020 election was because there was COVID, there were lots of mail-in ballots. So mail-in ballots are coming in, not verified, all that kind of stuff. So it creates a unique situation where you have hand-counted and mail-ins. This time, there are no mail-in ballots. So the point I'm making is that you will see, no, not like 2020 during the last COVID time. What you're going to see is that when you look at the numbers, because you can't win North Carolina and Georgia by, say, 10 points, then lose Pennsylvania by 10 points. That would then, there will not be a trend line that you can then say, you can't lose, you can't win Iowa by 20, then go win Pennsylvania or lose Pennsylvania by 20. This is the point I'm making, that the trend line will start to show very early from the Eastern board as we go down the time clock. That's what I'm going to.
I perfectly agree with what you're saying, but what I need to understand, because impression is what matters, and that is what you're creating here, right? So when you said that could not be rigged, so the impression you gave to people like me and a few people listening to you sitting here with me is that election can actually be rigged. The guys in power are actually looking at rigging an election.
Yeah, because there are many ways.
That was why I asked you.
Yeah, and I can tell you exactly what I mean. When you have, in many states in America, the process of mailing ballots, you have to cure the ballots, which means you can open the envelopes and look at the signatures and compare with the driver's license. In some states in America, the laws, the Supreme Court has said you cannot, that you're allowed to change the thing. You can cure the ballot, number one, or there's no privacy seal, or number two, you don't have to have a stamp on the mailing ballot. So what that means is that if I want to be bad, right, I can look at the results that are being tallied and I can see the gap that exists out there. Then I can simply use ballot harvesting, because ballot harvesting in America is legal. You can ballot harvest, and I can have a whole stack of ballots here with me, and I can go just dump it into a machine. That's what I'm talking about. It has happened before. There are cases.
Traditionally.
Let me finish. There are cases that it happens on both sides. If you go online, just Google ballot harvesting. In New York, they have to cancel an election for a house seat because the guy did ballot harvesting, stopped the box. So it's not a film trick. It happens. So the point I'm making is this: when you are trying to be a bad actor and you see margins so high then statistically it stops you from rigging because wow, what are you going to do? You can't just have one. Look at the Imo State election. You see Imo State election. The Imo governor's local government area had like an 83% hike, and other local government areas did not have it. So that's statistically impossible because just that place can't support you. That's where I'm going to say.
Carlo, I understand. Carlo, just this is my opinion, right? I don't know if you will go down well with you. Carlo, please, you have a strong influence on people, and people listen to you. When you make comments like that, I don't think it's right. 100%, please. I don't think it's right for you to give impression that U.S. election could be rigged.
Well, it's not an impression; it's a fact. I'm giving you the fact already.
People will go to jail. Like,
I'm not sure what you're saying is it. I'm giving you. Do you want to post you the? I'm explaining to you. The Supreme Court has said you cannot cure, and I've told that in New York it happened. Do you want to post that receipt?
But on the
Ezekiel, give me 30 seconds.
Okay, Claudia, go on before I make my final point and go down.
Yeah, in Michigan, they accounted for 50 out of 2 million ballots that were irregular. Like, one saying, like, maybe there's no signature or there's a double voting. 50 out of 2 million. That was the Dominion,
Let them go Dominion. The total elections were decided in Georgia, 20,000.
Only 20. No, in Pennsylvania.
And that's what I'm going to.
2 million. So it's just like unfounded. Those are conspiracy theories that are unfounded.
Listen,
you
guys are trying to be politically correct.
Get all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, which is, by the way, a conservative Supreme Court.
You guys are being politically correct. In America, the George Bush election, we all watched on TV hanging chads. What I am saying is exactly that. I am saying if Al Gore had won by such a margin, there would be no need to go and count chads. That's the way I'm going to. I'm not saying there will be rigging. I am saying to be an early night. If you watch the numbers tally in North Carolina, in Georgia, and one candidate has a blowout lead, where you have him blowing out what is called in 2020, then there will be no need to even go and start to say, okay, ballot here, stuff in there, because already the prognosis will be that he's going to blow out when you get to Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. It's not theory. It has happened before. We've seen it in our own eyes before. So I know what you are saying I shouldn't say. I'm giving you facts. You are saying I shouldn't say because it will make people unhappy.
Okay, Carl, let me ask you. Let me ask because I have heard some guys on your team. Carl, it's obvious where you are tilting towards, right? And to be honest, you've not been able to convince.
I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to be factual.
Carl, I talk now, just to